Last week, senior QB Rodney Koenig sparked Notre Dame in their matchup against Citrus Valley, completing 17 of 25 pass attempts for 280 yards and 5 touchdowns. 2 of the TD strikes went to senior wideout Ashton Othament, while Koenig also connected thrice to his younger brother Aiden, leading the Titans to a 42-14 first-round victory over the Blackhawks at Wheelock Stadium. San Jacinto is led by sophomore quarterback Kajaya Holloway, who directed a first-round victory over La Quinta, throwing for 292 yards and 4 touchdowns. Tonight, Holloway looks to his 2 primary targets, Caleb Hervey and Wayne Thomas, in an effort to get the Tigers into the Division VII semifinals.
We're at Wheelock Stadium at RCC for Notre Dame and San Jacinto. Quarterfinal action in Division VII, CIF high school playoff action on Riverside TV. Good evening, Ghazal Hassan back with you. Jeff Gorham on assignment with UC Riverside Basketball. We got Coach Vinny Fazio hanging out tonight for some playoff football. And Coach, Notre Dame and San Jacinto, we were talking earlier this week, you said both these teams could win this division.
This is a fun one because you got some contrasting styles. You got San Jacinto, who's got the athletes. They run around, they play fast and physical. And then you got Notre Dame, who kind of has that execution. You know, it's precision and execution. And so you got that contrast, and we're going to see who comes out on front tonight.
Notre Dame last week, very impressive, 42-14 over Citrus Valley. Rodney Koenig was the story. 280 yards through the air, 5 touchdowns. Can we expect more of that this evening?
Well, just diced up Citrus Valley, who you know is a really well-coached team. And if you can do that to a Citrus Valley team, you feel like you can do it to anybody. Now, here's what I'll say. San Jacinto athletically, much, much better than Citrus Valley. So you're talking about a different animal tonight. They're not going to be able, I don't think, to get the same kind of big plays they had. They're going to have to drive it and matriculate the ball.
Okay. San Jacinto, they also have a pretty talented quarterback in Kajaya Holloway. He threw for 290 yards and 4 touchdowns last week, but it may come down to the Tigers' defense, Coach, because you know a little bit about.
Well, I think that's the interesting matchup. The Tigers 3-5 against that Notre Dame offense. But what I like about San Jacinto's offense, I like that quarterback, man. He can run around, he can throw it, and will Notre Dame, who's given up some points this year, will Notre Dame be able to limit them enough that their offense can do the job?
The third member of our broadcast team, J.R. Ibarra, will be along shortly, but right now we'll throw it to the Division VII semifinal between Notre Dame and San Jacinto, CIF playoffs on Riverside TV.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Riverside Community College for the second round of the CIF playoffs, as we got a very good matchup, as the guys were saying. Just to give a little bit more meat to the bones offensively in the matchups we got tonight, I think the quarterbacks are going to be the key in tonight's ball game. When you take a look at the numbers for Notre Dame's Rodney Koenig, 2,600 yards in the air with 33 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions and a 65% completion rate. When you take a look at San Jacinto's Kajaya Holloway, 2,500 yards, 24 TDs, and 472 yards on the ground. But where the key matchup is at the defensive squads. For San Jacinto, they've only given up 13 points per game, whereas with Notre Dame, they've given up 27 points per game. In fact, talking to Coach Huerta earlier tonight, he's very concerned on keeping Holloway contained. He wants to keep him in the box and put a lot of extra pressure on him. So defensively, Notre Dame really has to step things up if they want to win this game tonight. Let's get things kicked off. We'll send it up back to you.
Hey, thanks, JR. Ghazal Hassan, Vinny Fazio up here in the booth. Jeff Gorham again on assignment with UC Riverside Basketball. He's unable to make the game today and will now stand for the national anthem. Well, we're back up top, Wheelock Stadium. Coach Fazio, second-round matchup between Notre Dame and San Jacinto. Very interesting. The Tigers ended up the season ranked 3rd. Notre Dame ended up ranked 7th, and here they're playing in a quarterfinal for the right to get to the Final Four.
Hey, you got two really good teams. You know, these are teams that have been effective all year. You got Notre Dame, the league champion. You got San Jacinto, who really could have been the league champion. I mean, had a chance to beat Citrus Hill. Seems like nobody beat Citrus Hill. Had a chance to beat Citrus Hill. So this is a really good San Jacinto team. These are two high-quality teams, and this is a good one. I think we're going to have a good one tonight. I don't think we're going to be telling stories in the second half tonight.
Renewal of acquaintances. These teams haven't played since 2009. San Jacinto has won the last 5 games between these two teams and 10 of their last 11. Here's the twist, Coach. The last game that Notre Dame won was in 2006. It was also played on November 9th. How about that one?
Boy, you got all the stats, man.
San Jacinto deferred, and they will kick off. So they won the toss, and here's LaCuesta fielding the ball at the 13 for Notre Dame. Finds a little bit of space. He's into San Jacinto territory, and he'll be bounced out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. They're going to mark him at about the 28-yard line, so an impressive return inside the 30 for Notre Dame to start it off. They'll start an advantageous field position.
Well, that's the kind of stuff they're going to have to do. You know, they got the little kick out, little power return, and they got the little kick out, and he found a crease. Good job by the kicker getting over there to make the tackle, save the touchdown and allow San Jacinto's defense to play.
Tackle on the play, Julio Uruguay, the sophomore place kicker for San Jacinto. So 2 big special teams plays last week for Notre Dame. They start off with a big one here tonight, and we'll see the offense, Rodney Koenig, and we'll have Ashi DiZazzo in motion. Play action, they'll fling it to the outside. This is Tyler Mosley. He'll get up to about the 22-yard line. So the first completion, they get it outside to their playmaker, Coach.
And that's your run-pass option right there. They come out right with it. A lot of people talk about run-pass option, but that actually was one. He's reading to see if you got an overhang player that can get out there and play that flat. They had no overhang player, throw it out in the flat, run for yards.
Second and short. So they got to the 21-yard line. Split out to the near side is Hudak for Notre Dame. Offset I. Here's a little flip to Mosley, and he gets wrestled down for a big loss. Stepping up and making the play for the defense, Kelvin Davis from his inside linebacker spot. They were talking about him before the game, Coach.
Yeah, that's your guy Davis. He's one of the faster players on the field, and he plays at one of those inside linebacker spots in the 3-5, and he can run, man. And you just saw right there the difference between San Jacinto and Notre Dame. San Jacinto's got that speed and athleticism, probably not like anything Notre Dame's seen.
From the 25 of San Jacinto, it's 3rd and 5 Notre Dame. The big fella in the middle is Sheldon Newton. He's a junior. Watch him in the middle of that line for San Jacinto. Here's Mosley in motion. A little bit of a confusion. Here comes Hervey on the pressure. Koenig gets around it, but it's incomplete. Intended receiver is Tyler Mosley. In on the coverage, Jordan McFrazier for San Jacinto. 4th down.
Well, it kind of looked like they maybe had a little miscommunication, a little bump between the running back and the quarterback as he was trying to sprint out. But then once he got outside, he had more time, I think, than he thought. Koenig had a little time out there. He could have squared his shoulders, and the receiver actually was open. There was a chance to make a play there. I think he got disrupted a little bit, when his timing got thrown off. But there actually was a play there to be made.
June Huang on to attempt a 42-yard field goal. The senior 4-year varsity player puts his foot into it. It'll have the distance, but will it be down the middle? And it's going to be pushed slightly to the left. No good. The 42-yard field goal missed. So San Jacinto able to work around that great return by LaCuesta.
That's a huge stop, a huge way to start the game if you're San Jacinto. You give up the big return, great field position. They get 9 yards on first down, and then you end up with a stop and a missed field goal. I mean, that's as good as can be. Now the good thing for Notre Dame in high school, you miss a field goal like that, the ball goes back to the 20. So they don't actually get it where you miss the field goal from, like in college or the NFL. So, it's almost as good as a punt anyway. They take over at the 20, and he got 80 yards to defend.
All right, Coach, our first look at Kajaya Holloway, the sophomore QB for San Jacinto. Had a fantastic year. He'll give it to Kelvin Davis. Davis through the middle, tries to get outside, but he'll be wrestled down by Jaden Rowe. He'll get nearly to a first down, 9 yards on the run for Davis.
Now, that's not Holloway at quarterback, so you wonder what's going on. That's Anthony Arciniega. So you wonder if Holloway is dinged or if there's some kind of a disciplinary situation or what, because Holloway's been the guy all year.
Oh,
and all of a sudden,
you're right.
Anthony Arciniega is the quarterback to start the game, so you wonder what's going on.
2nd and 2, so give him 8 officially. Arciniega behind quarterback. We saw Holloway in the opening warm-ups. He seemed to be okay, and a false start called on San Jacinto will mark it off 5 yards. That was a big problem for the Tigers last week, Coach. They were flagged for 100 yards and penalties in their 30-20 win over La Quinta.
Well, a lot of times when you get a new quarterback, that's something that happens. You know, he's got a little bit of a different cadence or a little bit of a different operation, and so sometimes that kind of thing happens.
2nd and 13. The give and into the backfield, dropping the ball carrier is Cameron Mosley making the play. Cameron Ashley, Ashley making the play and dropping him down at about the 21-yard line.
Wow, nice play by Ashley. He really came off the ball hard. It looked like it was supposed to be a counter play, but Ashley just beat his guy, got inside the down block, and was right there in the backfield.
So movement up front. They got Ashi DeZazo now standing up on the outside. 3rd down for San Jacinto from the 21. They need the 30 for the first. Another false start called on Arciniega. So it'll be interesting. Now, we talked to Coach Eric Galliano, did not mention anything about Holloway not starting, so maybe he dinged something, as you mentioned, in warm-ups. He looked pretty good.
Looked fine to me.
We were watching him throw for a while.
Yeah, he looked fine to me. I don't think it was an injury thing. Now, I didn't really see him run, but at least as far as throwing, he looked fine to me. But, you know, he's over there with his helmet off, standing on the sideline. He warmed up, so it isn't like he's not here. They win again.
And here we go. 3rd and 14. And another 5-yard penalty marked off. They'll mark it back to the 11-yard line. They only need to get to the 30 for a first down. Not the way you want to start it if you're San Jacinto.
No, that's a brutal start. You're going the wrong way.
Under 9 minutes to play first quarter, no score. First drive for San Jacinto. Here's the give. This is Davis piercing up the middle, twisted down back over the 20-yard line. Jaden Rowe again brings him down, gets a lot of that penalty yardage back, but it'll still be 4th down.
Yeah, Davis looked great on his 2 carries, but you can't get 20 yards in penalties and expect to convert. So Notre Dame did enough, but you got to be a little nervous. Davis looked good on both of those carries.
Caleb Herbie will punt, and Ashton Otherman back to receive the punt in Notre Dame territory, just to the right of the painted Tiger visage at midfield. High snap and good kick by Herbie, averaging nearly 40 yards a kick. Fair catch called at the 47-yard line of Notre Dame.
Well, I'll tell you what, they were lucky. Herbie used all about 6'3" of that body to catch that snap. That was a high snap, went up and got it. Sometimes you got those shorter punters, that ball would have went over their head.
So good field position to start for Notre Dame. They'll start from the 47-yard line of the Titans, and they'll get a second opportunity. So second drive that they've had good field position to start, Coach.
It's not a big defense for San Jacinto either if you look at them. I mean, Newton is massive, but the rest of them are kind of it's kind of an undersized group, playing this 3-5.
From the 47, 1st and 10, Notre Dame. Koenig with the play action will swing to the flat for Mosley. Mosley dancing over midfield into San Jacinto territory. Maybe pick up about 5 on that play. They like getting him the ball to the outside, Coach.
Boy, I love what Jason McMahon's, the offensive coordinator, is doing. That's another RPO play out of an exotic formation. The inside receiver was covered up there. He's ineligible. But they RPO it, and you make you go out there and cover it. They got extra guys out there when they throw it to go block the DBs. That's a great job by Jason McMahon's, the offensive coordinator.
6 yards on first down, 2nd and 4. Ashton Otherman split to the near side. Here's Ashi DeZazo in motion. Give Mosley. Mosley's got a little space. Good blocking downfield by Otherman, but he'll be brought down inside about the 41-yard line. Coming up to make the play, Cameron Rocha got some help from Devon Banks.
And they got around Newton on that one. This is now a 3-5 defense. The defensive ends generally aren't your contained players. You always got to have a contained player, got to turn the ball back inside. In the 3-5, usually that's going to be a second-level guy, either a linebacker or a strong safety. And here's that triple I out of the shotgun.
1st and 10, 41 out of the triple I. Tailback Mosley, and Mosley will dive over the 40 to the 39. Tackle on the play, Cameron Rocha from the cornerback position.
Rocha makes a tackle, but that's Newton's play. Newton bench pressed him into the backfield there and kind of made him make a move before he was ready to make that move. So he doesn't get credit for the tackle, but that really was his play.
Newton, the 6'4", 290-pound junior, the nose tackle, transfer from West Valley, 7th on the team in tackles, had one of the 4 quarterback sacks last week against La Quinta. 2nd and 8 from the 39 of San Jacinto. Koenig to throw, looking for Othmet. One-on-one and incomplete. Pressing the edge was Cameron Rocha against Ashton Othmet. Othmet, coach, had a big game last week. 5 catches, 130 yards, and a couple of touchdowns.
You know, one of the things I always tell my quarterbacks, you can't catch it. They can't catch it if it's out of bounds. You got to throw the ball in bounds. You know, if you're throwing it out of bounds, you're only doing that because it's a throwaway.
Right.
You know, otherwise, it's got to be in bounds or he's just got no chance. I mean, Offerman can go up and get it, but not if you throw it out of bounds.
He was the one player that Eric Galliano, the head coach of San Jacinto, said he's a problem for us.
Yeah.
His combination of size and athleticism.
No, he can go up and get it, but not if it's 5 yards out of bounds.
3rd and 8 from the 39. Koenig looking, and now he'll go down. That's Caleb Hervey making the sack back to the 46-yard line. 7-yard loss, 4th down.
Yeah, and Hervey doesn't play defense every down. He's a spot guy. But I think you can see maybe he's a little bit of a pass rusher. You know, he got there fast, and he almost looked like he was unblocked. I know they had a guy to account for him, but, boy, he went by him fast.
You know, he's a big guy who's athletic. At the next level, where does he project? Is he more of an offensive player, coach, or a defensive player?
It's hard for those guys to find tight ends now. If you can find a kid like that, looks like that can play tight end, that's a diamond in the rough at the next level.
DeMonce Williams catches the Othman punt inside the 10. He's up to the 15. He'll get bent back there. So the punt went back to about the 6-yard line. So a good kick from Othman, about 40 yards and about 10, maybe 8 yards on the return. 1st and 10, San Jacinto from the 15.
We got one offense averaging 38 points a game, one offense averaging 33 points a game, and so far, stop. The defenses have showed up early.
Been a defensive slugfest.
This Holloway's in.
So perhaps the disciplinary measure taken by head coach Eric Galliano in his 4th season at the helm of San Jacinto. Coach Galliano, career record of 36-9. Pretty impressive when you consider of those 9 losses, 7 are either at playoff opponents or Citrus Hill. 1st and 10. Holloway will fling it complete to the outside at about the 22, and they'll push the receiver back. I believe that was Wayne Thomas on the catch. And Thomas played last week with a broken hand, had a cast on his hand. They'll mark it up to the 21-yard line, give him 6 on the completion.
Nice swarm by the defense there for Notre Dame running over to make the tackle. So they got the completion, but it's only a 5-yard gain because they ran over and made a good tackle.
Holloway, just a sophomore, started as a freshman last year and has definitely shown some growth, both physically and in terms of his composure and grasping the offense. 2nd down play, he's going to fling it downfield. He's got a man, and that's Thomas into Notre Dame territory, making the catch down at about the 40-yard line. So a 39-yard strike, and Holloway threw a great ball there, Coach.
The thing about Thomas is he can run. He's big and tall, so you don't expect it, but he just goes by. He's got those gazelle legs, and he just went right by him. And he was wide open. So they're going to have to back off of him a little bit. I mean, they're not going to be able to let him do that the whole game.
Ball to the 40-yard line of Notre Dame, and San Jacinto's offense seems to be clicking. Both these offenses have played well the last couple of weeks, so should be an interesting matchup tonight, especially with the 2 quarterbacks. 3 receivers split out to the bottom of your screen. Davis is the lone setback, and the option, Kajaya Holloway will keep it, maybe 2 on the play.
Yeah, look like, on option plays like that, you always want to keep the ball going where it's supposed to go. That's not a cutback play. Quarterback zone's one thing, you can maybe cut it back, but on option, it's designed to go outside. When you cut it back, you're not blocking those guys in there, so you really put yourself at a disadvantage.
Thomas is to the near side of the near slot, DeMonce Williams for San Jacinto. 2nd and 8 from the 38 of Notre Dame. Davis the setback. Hervey split out to the far side. Looking for Hervey. Hervey kind of came back underneath. I think that was supposed to be a back shoulder throw, a little bit underthrown. LaQuesta one-on-one, incomplete, 3rd down.
Yeah, it looked like a back shoulder's hard because they kind of were in trail technique there. So, you usually want to throw the back shoulder if the DB's working over the top of the receiver. But it looked like the DB kind of had backside. That one's got to be up over and give him a chance to catch it. That really wasn't the spot for the back shoulder.
3rd down from the 38 of Notre Dame. This is Davis. Davis finds the corner, breaks one tackle, and Gergen will bring him down at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, he's good.
33-yard run. And Kelvin Davis, defensive starter, pressed into duty because Juan Denny unable to go today, unable to answer the bell with an injury.
Well,
and he gets it all the way to the 5-yard line.
That dude's a sophomore, man. He's a pretty good-looking player. Holy smoke, he's got some scooch.
Officially marked at the 4, 1st and goal, San Jacinto. Hervey, motion. Davis. And he's in. Touchdown, San Jacinto. How about that? Pretty easy when you can draw it up like that, huh, Coach?
That was a convincing drive. Holloway comes in, and all of a sudden they're doing their thing, and they got a lot of weapons, man. You got Thomas, and you got Hervey, and you got Holloway, and Davis is really something. There's a lot of weapons on that offense. So Notre Dame is going to have to score with them. I don't think they're going to stop them consistently. They're going to have to score. It's not. They're not going to be able to win this game 14-10 or whatever. They're going to have to win it with a big score.
Julio Uruguay in.
Fake.
And the PAT is faked, and it's going to be a 2-point conversion. I believe that was Hervey who made the reception. Yep. So 8-0 San Jacinto. How about that wrinkle, Vinny?
Little jump pass, huh? The old Tim Tebow jump pass from the holder. Looked pretty good, man. That's one you work on all year. You got to run it. Time to run it. Run it now.
So Eric Galliano, the head coach of San Jacinto, reaching way deep into his bag of tricks early. They tried an onside kick early last week. It worked for them to build a 14-0 lead. Here, they go to the 2-point conversion out of the kicking formation. I often wonder why teams don't do that more. Is it hard to drill? Is it hard to practice, Coach?
Yeah, it's hard to practice, and you got to have an athletic holder. You got to have a holder that's capable of doing that kind of stuff, and that's kind of a hard guy to find. But boy, when you find one, there's a million ways you can fake stuff. I mean, it's always a good idea, and teams don't expect it, and they're down after you score. I mean, there's lots of arguments for it.
Uruguay will kick it away for San Jacinto. The return from the 15. Othman's got a head of steam. Othman, wide patch of green to go. He's inside the 20, still fighting, and he'll finally be brought down at about the 13-yard line.
Well, they're kicking it over there, but they're not covering over there. They're kind of covering straight down in lanes, but they're kicking it way to the side, so they're outnumbered. It's just a power return, and they're getting the kick out, but there's not enough guy. If you're going to kick it directionally, kick it like that, everybody should be running in that direction to cover. They're covering too much field. They're not, as Sun Tzu would say, they're not focusing on where the enemy's going to be,
72 yards unofficially on the return to the 13 of San Jacinto. Touchdown drive for the Tigers. 5 plays, 85 yards, 2 minutes, 26 seconds, culminating in the Davis 4-yard run of the 2-point conversion. And now Notre Dame, though, in the red zone.
You don't want to use must score, but Notre Dame's got to score here.
8-0 San Jacinto, triple I. Koenig, play action. Thought he had Joseph Green, couldn't hold the ball, incomplete. On the coverage was Devon Banks for San Jacinto.
That was a good job by Banks coming down from that safety position. In the 3-5, the safety's the guy that plays the flat in cover 3. Mm-hmm. And so coming down from kind of a too high look to play the flat there and ended up taking it away. There was really nothing there. I mean, he could have caught the ball, but it would have been a 1 or 2 yard gain. That was a great job coming down by Banks.
2nd and 10 from the 13 for Notre Dame. 8-0. San Jacinto's just gotten on the board. Here's Mosley in motion. End around. This is Othman to the 10. And inside the 10, he'll get slammed down by Newton at the 9-yard line. So 4 yards for Othman on the play. Othman needs, he's over now, 3,000 all-purpose yards for his career with those 2 returns earlier. His first run on the evening makes it 3rd down and 6. And
Othman's a pretty good player. I mean, he's big, but he's faster than you think he's going to be. When you see him live, you see him on film, you don't know how fast he is. You see him live, he can scoot a little bit for a kid that size.
3-year varsity player, 4.5 GPA, consideration from UCLA and Yale, according to head coach Aaron Huerta. 3rd and 6 for Notre Dame. Koenig looking, middle. Othman can't hold it. coming over and making the hit. Brian Matzos, the senior safety, coming over there and dispossessing Ashton Othman of the football, 4th down.
Yeah, they tried to get it empty, and it was a little what we used to call a basketball route. He went out and then back in, and he was open. That throw's got to come lower. It can't come high like that when you got the DBs back there kind of coming at you. Up high inside is not a good place. That ball's got to be low where you can go down and get it.
Well, here we go. Aaron Huerta is going to roll the dice. He'll go for it on 4th down from the 9. Koenig looking, throwing, touchdown. Ashton Othman latches onto that one.
That's a well-designed play by Jason McMains, and it's a great throw. And then Othman's a really good player. So that there was a lot going on there. They motioned out of empty to get to quad, so they actually had 4 receivers to the right side, but isolated Othman on the backside, and that makes him really hard to cover because you almost have to man him. There's 4 guys on the other side, and so they had to man him, and he just routed him. He just beat his guy.
Chun Huang on to try the PAT, and it's 8-7. So we were joking with Coach McMains and Coach Huerta before the game. We were talking about last week and saying, they kind of let it fly against Citrus Valley, and we were joking, scared money never wins. Well, they proved it there. Easily, they could have had the 3 points in their back pocket, but as you mentioned, they knew San Jacinto had scored a touchdown. They wanted to match it with a touchdown, and they did so.
Yeah, I don't think field goals is going to win the game for Notre Dame. I mean, just from that last drive that I watched when Holloway was in the game,
right?
It doesn't look like field goals are going to win. It looks like they're going to have to match touchdowns for touchdowns and hope that they can maybe force a turnover or something here or there. But that San Jacinto offense has a lot of weapons. So I think Notre Dame, if you're Notre Dame, we got to get touchdowns. Field goals, especially in the red zone, field goals aren't going to cut it.
Othman carried the water there. He got the kickoff return all the way inside the 15, then a 4-yard run and the 9-yard reception from Koenig for the touchdown.
Yeah, he's good. I'm convinced. He's got me convinced. Okay. He's a really good player.
Yeah. So thumbs up from
Fazio
on Ashton Othman.
Yeah, Ashton Othman can play.
Long with the kick. Fielded at the 21-yard line. This is Jordan McFrazier. And McFrazier in the middle up to the 34. So about 13 yards on the return. Decent field position on the tackle, Patrick Waleski for Notre Dame.
Well, and the other thing you're hoping for when you're Notre Dame, Davis is playing both ways. Hervey plays both ways a little bit. So you're hoping that maybe as the game goes on, those guys start to get a little tired and maybe aren't quite as explosive. But, boy, on that last drive, they sure looked explosive.
And that's part of the challenge when you have guys who play both ways. I know, talking to Eric Galliano, he didn't necessarily want to do it, but it's playoff time and all. It's like it's like World Series.
Got to win.
Hey, if you have to, Kershaw's got to throw 2 innings in relief, so be it. Probably a bad parallel right now, but you know what I mean, Coach. Davis trying to find some room, spins out of one tackle. Great physical run up to about the 43-yard line. 9-yard pickup for Kelvin Davis, who was a last-minute substitution for the injured Juan Denny. He's having himself a pretty good game, Coach.
You're telling me this guy's their backup running back?
That's right.
Holy smoke. This guy's awesome.
Wished you had him when you were back at Ramona.
Oh, man.
You had a pretty good running backs at Ramona.
We did. We had a couple good backs, Coach.
2nd and 1, Holloway flings the ball to the outside. He was open, but there was a miscommunication, incomplete, and he'll bring up 3rd down.
I think what happened there is it was supposed to be a wheel route, an out and up, but he was so wide open on the out that Holloway was just like, here, just take it. You're wide open already. And Hervey didn't know, so he ran the route. I think that was the miscommunication was he was so wide open. He just wanted to hand him the ball. Here, take it. You're wide open. 3rd and 1.
So what's that Alec Baldwin line from Gilgaric and Ross? People are out there begging you to take their money. Are you man enough to take it? 3rd and 1. Davis hurdles to the – instead, that's not Davis. Kicking to the outside. It's still a 1st down either way. Good bit of running on the play for San Jacinto. Devon Banks getting the opportunity.
Now, I think we had a late hit back here, so I'm not sure if it's dead ball, but it looked like San Jacinto might have been Hervey. It was one of the San Jacinto guys behind the play. Is the guy that made the hit, so it's going to be against San Jacinto. Now, I don't know that if it's dead ball or live ball because that's going to be an important distinction here.
Officiating crew having a little bit of a caucus at midfield.
Because if a live ball penalty, then it's not a 1st down. If it's a dead ball penalty, then it's a 1st down.
1st down, they mark it after the
right.
play. That is the discussion.
That was a pretty nice run. He kind of jumped and hurtled and got knocked.
Well, he hurtled, and then they stopped him, and then he went back. He kind of went back outside, reminiscent of Marcus Allen. Remember the '83 Super Bowl where he kind of reversed all the way against the Redskins? He ended up getting a touchdown.
I was only 2 in that game.
Okay. Well, I think I was about 9, so
Yeah.
I got 7 years on you,
I think I saw it on film.
So it looks like they're moving the sticks up, so it'll be a post.
Oh, it's there was one on Notre Dame, too. I didn't see the Notre Dame one. So I guess they both got them.
Well, it'll be a 7-yard gain.
I didn't see the Notre Dame one. It must have been on the sideline. I didn't see it. I saw the San Jacinto one. It was right out in the middle.
So Banks with a 7-yard run for a first down, the ball to midfield. 8-7, San Jacinto leads early against Notre Dame here. Quarterfinal in Division 7. Holloway will keep. Holloway's got some space. And Holloway gets up to the 33, so 17 yards on the run by Kajaya Holloway. And, man, he looked so smooth on that run, Coach.
They just got a lot. There's a lot of weapons there for this San Jacinto team. You know, him and Davis and the outside receivers. There's just a lot of weaponry. Notre Dame's kind of look like they're a play behind right now. You know, they're tackling the guy that doesn't have the ball every time.
First down, Davis running inside. Spins through the first level of tacklers, gets inside about the 26. Good gain on first down.
And that's the other problem. He makes the first guy miss. So even when you get a guy there, he makes him miss. I mean, that should have been a 1-yard gain or a no gain, and he ends up with 4 or 5 yards because he makes the first guy miss.
Experienced offensive line, too, for San Jacinto. Locked in a real good trench battle tonight between Notre Dame and San Jacinto. So call it 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 from the 29. Holloway. Here's Hanlon in pursuit. Good crackback block, Hanlon. And then Holloway gets back maybe to the 25.
Again, it's frustrating when you're a defensive coordinator because you really feel like you had him twice. You had him in the backfield, and then you had him again on the perimeter. Looks like there's a guy down.
Timothy Pugh, starting offensive lineman, right tackle for San Jacinto. Looks like he got the worst of it on the play. They'll mark the ball, I believe, at the 26. So it'll bring up a 3rd and manageable when we come back. Eric Galliano himself, an offensive lineman coming up. He played at Cerritos College, later at Utah State. Was offensive coordinator for a couple of years under Bill Powell here at San Jacinto before taking the head coaching job. And, interesting guy in terms of kind of trying to run this program because he's really had a hand on both sides of the football this year. Got a coordinator on both sides. But, when you're a head coach, as you know, Coach, you kind of need to be involved really on all aspects of the ballgame.
Yeah, and it's nice if you can have coordinators that you can trust to where you don't have to call every play, but at the same time, you want to be involved in the game planning on both sides and you kind of still want to get your way and have the team be the identity that you want it to be,
From the 25, it's a 3rd and 3. Tight slot is DeMonte Williams.
They're going to get some man coverage here, a little blitz and man coverage action.
Thomas to the near side, top of your screen is Hervey. Here's Holloway looking for Hervey down the field. Underthrown a little bit, tipped, and he could not come down with it. That was Aiden Koenig on the coverage, I believe, for Notre Dame. Locked up with Caleb Hervey. He'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, I think they're kind of saying, we can't let them run the ball right down our throat. So if it means we got to play a little bit of man coverage and take some chances, then that's what we got to do, especially on 3rd and short, because what the heck, And so now you got them in 4th down, chance to potentially get a stop.
So Thomas split out to the near side. In the near slot, Keith Hunter. Tight slot on the far side is Harvey, and then DeMonte Williams to the far side. Right up the middle for Davis. First down to the 20-yard line, tackled by Waleski for Notre Dame.
Davis is a man. He's a man. He's a sophomore, and he's a full-grown man. That was a full-grown man run. He put his shoulder down and he knew what he had to get for the first down, and he got it.
End of the first quarter here, CIF Division 7 quarterfinal. Winner takes on the winner of Grand Terrace and Valencia. And it's interesting. It's the home game for Notre Dame, but we're at the home of the Tigers, the RCC Tigers. But San Jacinto also, the nickname of the Tigers.
That's interesting. That is interesting. You got the big tiger head right there on the midfield.
So if you joined us late, Jeff Gorham on assignment with UC Riverside basketball. He's up in Portland. The Highlanders play Portland State and UNLV this weekend, so Coach Vinny Fazio has graciously stepped into Coach Gorham's very large shoes. Jeff's a very big man.
He is. He is big and bald.
I want to remind you the Mariachi Festival going on tomorrow. It's on Mission Inn Drive between Lime and Lemon. It'll start at noon and go till 10 p.m. And a lot of food, folks, music, and fun. So check out the Mariachi Festival. I thought we were going to see a graphic, but I don't see it. So I was waiting for that one to flash up. Back to action. 1st and 10, San Jacinto from the Notre Dame 20. Holloway under pressure. He'll throw. Complete. I believe that's Hervey down inside the 10 to about the 4-yard line.
Looked like it might have been a blown coverage there by Notre Dame. I think half the team was playing man and half the team was playing zone. And so you ended up with a kind of a busted coverage. I think everybody was like looking around, pointing and saying, you got that guy. Nobody took him.
Instead, DeMonte Williams, the reception, mistook the 4 for a 9. I mean, Hervey's a big guy. I can't confuse him with Williams. Ball down officially to the 3. 1st and goal, San Jacinto. Banks trying to get outside. Jaden Rowe cuts him down.
And Banks is a good athlete, but there is a big difference when he's in the game versus when Davis is in the game, in terms of ability to just put their shoulder down and get those yards. So, there is a difference when you get Davis out of the game.
2nd and goal from the 3. Good play by Rowe there. Holloway looking, and Hervey nearly came up with an acrobatic catch, incomplete, 3rd down. Koenig on the coverage.
That's a good job by Gorgon on the Gergen. Mom told me, Gergen on the containing the quarterback. It was a play action pass. They wanted to get Holloway on the perimeter for a little run pass, make a choice, and Gergen contained him, kept him inside, and he had to throw it before he was ready.
Wrinkle in the chess game. Size at the receiver position for San Jacinto. Ashton Otherman in to play some defense.
Yeah.
6'4". 3rd and 3. Holloway under pressure will fling it. And this time it's complete for a touchdown. Caleb Hervey gathers it in. Another touchdown for the Tigers.
Well, that's a frustrating one for Notre Dame because they kind of played it the way they wanted to play it. They kept the quarterback. They did the same. It was the exact same play. They just ran again. It was the exact same play. And they said, we're going to keep the quarterback inside. They did it. They did what they wanted to do. But, it was a pretty good whip there by Holloway, and Hervey's such a big body.
Drive went 66 yards, took 3 minutes and 8 seconds. And Uruguay will put it through, and it'll be 15-7 in favor of San Jacinto. Get another look at the drive. Holloway kind of starting to air it out a little bit. Here's the completion to Williams. He'll bang down inside the 5. And then a good play here by Jaden Rowe as he makes the play on the outside. And then a couple of cracks at the end zone. First one nearly complete, but Hervey kind of can't come up with that one. And then Holloway escapes pressure and is able to get it to Hervey, who holds on to it this time, won't be denied.
That's a nice play by Holloway there. I mean, that's a hard play with them coming off the edge like that. And to be able to get that ball out there in a place that he can catch it, and only his guy could catch it. I mean, that's a heck of a play by a young quarterback.
9 plays on that drive, 66 yards, 3 minutes and 8 seconds. And so now the chess match begins. So you saw Otherman on defense for Notre Dame, and the onside attempt will be covered up at midfield for Notre Dame by Kerry Collins.
I think it was supposed to be a squib. I think that's supposed to be a squib. And what you teach a guy on the squib is you don't want to kick it softer. You want to actually kick it harder. You try to kick the squib through the end zone because it'll bounce and it'll stop itself. But if you kick it softer, that's that kind of thing can happen where a guy can field it. And now they got great field position. That's not what you want on the squib. You want that ball to go all the way down to the 5 yard line.
It's like you roll the dice in the crap table. You want to hit the back.
You want to hit the back. Absolutely.
Not that I've ever rolled the dice in the crap table.
No, I got you.
From the 38.
How would you know?
How would you know that? 1st and 10. 15-7. So we got a ball game here. Here's Mosley. Mosley's got some room. Ooh. Mosley cuts back in, makes a nice move, and he could go to the house. Tyler Mosley, 62 yards, touchdown Notre Dame. Late flag comes in.
The flag is going to be a sideline warning. against Notre Dame, but the touchdown is going to stand. And boy, Mosley can go. And what's happening to San Jacinto in their 3-5, they're playing it with the two defensive ends kind of down inside the tackles, and they're just blocking them down. And it's got to be either that strong safety or that outside linebacker that are setting force. You know, the first thing you go over in practice on defense, you go over two things. Who's got the deep zone so they can't just throw it over our head,
right,
and who sets force so they can't just run it around us. You got to do those two things. You're not doing those two things, you're not a defense. And right now, San Jacinto's not setting force all the time on the run plays. They're getting washed, and that second-level guy's not getting force set. Contain. Some people say contain. I like to say force, but same concept.
Huang pumps it through, 15-14. And it's interesting. So we have some time now. We're going to look at the play. Little pivot. And watch Mosley outside. Then he makes a cut back to the inside. Nice little move there, and then he's free to go. Talking about this 3-3-5 alignment, there are a couple different things they can do against a team like Notre Dame. You can, Coach Galliano talks about trying to push all the action to the middle, but you also can defend the outside with it just as equally, correct?
There has to be somebody on the second level that comes down when they see a zone block or a down block, that comes down and sets the edge to make sure that ball can't get outside and then vertical. They have to make it go around, and then they can turn and try to run it down, or they have to, but they have to cut that lane down. And right now there's just way too big of a lane between the defensive end and whoever that second force defender is, either the strong safety or the outside linebacker, and the ball's getting downhill and out in that lane. And that's what's happening to them. And it's happened a couple of times. Now in that case, Mosley's just a really good athlete. And so not only did it turn into a game, but turned into a touchdown.
Well, the keys for Notre Dame involve their playmakers, and the two playmakers have made some big plays for the Titans. Here's the return for San Jacinto. It went deep inside the 5-yard line. It'll come out to near the 20. That's where the carrier will go down. That was Jordan McFrazier with the return for San Jacinto. So you got about 17 or 14 yards on it. It's out to the 17-yard line or so.
Well, I hope you got the over. Speaking of Vegas, I hope you got the over tonight, because it looks like the two offenses are starting to get into a groove, and it looks like maybe Notre Dame has taken San Jacinto's punch a little bit. You know, you take that early. San Jacinto kind of shock and awe them early, and it looks like maybe Notre Dame has taken that punch and kind of now has responded and is starting to get themselves kind of back into the flow of the game.
Big play by Othman on the kickoff return, and the big play there by Mosley on the touchdown. So two big plays have kept Notre Dame in this one. Holloway keeping it, and down he goes. Holloway gets taken down. That was Ashi Dizazo. Now, he started the year as a running back. We've seen him play in the fullback position today, but they moved him outside the defensive end, the Carnegie transfer. He's big, he's fast, and athletic. Just what the doctor ordered for a team like San Jacinto.
Yeah, he's a guy that actually matches up. You know, he looks the part against those San Jacinto guys. He kind of looks like one of them, you know, big and fast and physical like them.
3-yard loss, back to the 13. Holloway looking. DeMonte Williams sits down in the zone and is tackled at the 24-yard line. So 8-yard pickup on that brings up 3rd and 5.
That was a nice catch in traffic. You know, that's the little snag route. You got the outside guy coming into the snag and the number 3 guy running the out, and you just throw to whoever's open. That was a great throw. But that was a tough snag. He was covered. I mean, that was a tough snag in traffic.
Holloway now unofficially 5 of 9 through the air for 70 yards. And 3rd and 5. Big third down coming up.
Very big.
Holloway, pressure. Ashi Dizazo gets around it, whips it inside, and Williams can't hold it. Jaden Rowe says, "How do you do?"
You know, and you know me, Gazal, I don't like to be critical, but I'd like to see Davis at least once on that drive, right? I mean, Davis never touched the ball. I mean, he's got to touch the ball. He's dominating the game. Every time he touches the ball, something good happens. You know, I understand Holloway's your guy, and you want to be able to throw it, but Davis is out there running routes. Get in the ball, feed the monster.
And he's playing defense, too, so maybe you're trying to pace yourself a little bit. That's a pretty good lick that Rowe just dealt. So Koenig is going to return the punt. Hervey, foot into it. Koenig catches the ball at about the 47. Traverses into San Jacinto territory, finds the edge, but inside the 35. So a good return. You know, Aiden Koenig has kind of been Mr. Everything. Yeah. He's playing on defense. He made some big plays last week as a receiver. Coach Aaron Huerta said, we preferred to just play him on defense, but he's too good to not put out there.
And one thing that's happening right now, Ghazal, is Notre Dame's winning the special teams battle. Special teams really is a third of the game, and its field position has been a huge part of this game. And right now, after the early fake, 2-point conversion by San Jacinto, Notre Dame, with their returns, they are winning the special teams battle right now.
Michael Lara, special teams coach for Notre Dame, they pride themselves on kind of giving their team a little bit of an advantage. 1st and 10 from the 35. Interesting formation here. That's Mosley turning off in motion. A little shovel pass up to Mosley. Mosley, 35-30, will dive forward to the 26-yard line. I think you score that one a forward pass. And to the 26-yard line he goes. Not quite a first down.
Jason McMains can coach, man. I mean, they got it. They got everything. They got formations. They got ways to get their playmakers the ball. This is a little way to try to run that fly sweep. They tried to run it earlier, but it wasn't as good. This time they got in a little overload formation to run it. So Coach McMains is doing his thing right now.
McMains, for many years, the head coach at Rubidoux. Last year took over Carnegie, and now the offensive coordinator for head coach Aaron Huerta. Sweeping to the outside, Mosley with a first down and more. Will toe tap and dance. Will get inside the 20 to about the 17. Good gain by Mosley.
They're not setting force. I mean, there's just nobody out there right now. So really, this is good all the time. They can run these little stretch and zone plays until somebody comes from the outside in to set force. As long as they can get around Newton, which they know they can because they've been getting around him all game. There's nobody out there. They can run it again.
Interesting matchup inside. Fabian Quintero, the center for Notre Dame. First and 10, line is the 18. Here's the give to Mosley. This time trying the inside. He'll go down after a couple of yards.
Yeah, I mean, those defensive ends are coming in pretty hard, so it's going to be hard to get too much inside. Newton and Hervey are coming inside pretty hard. If they're going to want to run it, it's going to almost have to be outside.
Just trying to keep them honest a little bit. There's Hervey making the play.
Yeah, Hervey and Newton are just coming inside every time. They're slanting inside those tackles.
Receivers stacked to the near side. Ashi DeZazo in motion. Give to Mosley. Kind of mishandles the ball. Now he's finding some space. Cruising to the outside. Moseying on into the end zone is Tyler Mosley. Touchdown Notre Dame.
Wow, that was quite a run. And it's the same concept. They're just running the little stretch play. It's just stretch. And this time he sets him up outside, steps back in, and they're doing a great job handling the second-level defenders from San Jacinto. And they're just carving them up in the run game right now.
Started off with a special teams play, and then Mosley takes it into the end zone with 7:17 to play here in the second quarter. And we got a track meet developing as Notre Dame takes the lead 20-15. And Huang adds the PAT, and it's 21-15.
He missed it.
Oh, wow. Pushed it to the left.
Yeah, wide left. Here's the punt return.
So Koenig starts it off strong with the punt return here. And then you get Mosley getting a little bit extra. About a 4-yard run. He stretches out 5 yards.
See, that's where there's got to be a guy coming from the outside in to set that edge. With the defensive ends going inside like they are, slanting inside, they've got to have somebody to set the edge. And right now they don't have them.
And surprising because San Jacinto, they got some speed on defense, Coach.
They're going to have to get on the board and make an adjustment. See, that he tried to come inside again. They're coming inside hard, but those second-level guys aren't getting the edge set. I know they were really concerned about Notre Dame hitting them with 4 verticals. We talked to Coach Galindo before the game, and I think they're playing kind of a 2-shell look out of the 3-5, and it's costing them their force defenders in the run game. They're going to have to walk those guys back into an 8-man front.
Booms it back from the 6, Williams. Check that. This is McFrazier. McFrazier's still with it. McFrazier to the 26. So 23-yard return by Jordan McFrazier, and that's where San Jacinto will start it off.
Notre Dame does a nice job in the kick game, man. Coach Lars doing a good job because they're solid. They're solid all the way around.
They return well. They cover well.
Yeah.
And, and we've I think talked about this off when you were coaching. Special teams can be such a factor to flip a team. If you're a borderline team and you have good special teams, all of a sudden now you're a playoff team that can win some games.
Well, I was a special teams coordinator at the University of Redlands.
Okay.
I mean, I have take a lot of pride in the kick game stuff, and so the University of Redlands, we took a ton of pride. Me and Coach Maynard, mostly because Coach Maynard made me, but sitting down and watching film and breaking stuff down and getting after it. I mean, we took it very seriously, and you can tell it doesn't take long to tell if a team takes the kick game real seriously or not. Some teams take it really. I felt like at Ramona, one thing we did, we stole some games because we worked really hard in the kick game, and we stole some games.
Well,
and
they after you left, they stole a game last year a couple times on kicks.
And that's something that really is a program deal, and Coach Wyszynski's done a great job there.
Yeah.
But that's something that's a program deal. When you teach, when special teams are
all the kids are still there.
The kids know it's important, and so it's important, so it stays important in the culture. That's a cultural thing that goes forward. But yeah, you can win a game. You can win 2 or 3 games a year because you're good in a kick game.
Talking about special teams with Coach Galliano, he actually had to recruit kickers from soccer.
Yeah.
And, Uruguay's a soccer kid, but now he says, now I get 4 or 5 soccer kids coming to see if they can play. It used to be we had to go try to find somebody. Now they come to us. So that's kind of turned over for San Jacinto. First down play. This is Holloway trying to find some room, and he can't. Good contain. Again, you talked about it on the Notre Dame defense.
Well, I was just going to say that. You see the difference, right? You see Notre Dame is setting the edge. They're not letting the ball run around. They're setting the edge and letting their inside guys pursue. San Jacinto's not setting the edge, and the ball's running around them. That's the difference. This is a great job setting the edge here.
They come in. He kind of bounces outside, and yes, that's Max Anderson. And then here's Koenig comes over.
But all your help's coming from the inside. If you set that edge, you're going to get help.
2nd and 11 from the 26 for San Jacinto. Here's the throw.
Oh, he's open.
Outside. A nice patch. Wayne Thomas high points that, brings it down at about the 45-yard line.
Are you kidding me? What a great catch. Did you see that? Boy, oh boy, that's a talented dude, man. Wow. He went up the ladder and got that.
Wayne Thomas, they lost him earlier in the year because he broke his hand. Played with a cast last week and caught 3 touchdown passes. Up the middle, your guy Davis will fight up to about the 49, maybe 3 yards on the carry.
That was a nice tackle. That's the first time we've seen Davis tackled by the first guy. That's the first time so far tonight that the first guy to get his hands on Davis has tackled him. So that's a nice play by Notre Dame. And you wonder if, like you said, maybe Davis is getting a little bit tired. He's playing a lot of football.
He'd been a spot player on offense, but now having to kind of carry the load is a different story. As Holloway gets the ball to Thomas again, and they'll rule him down inside Notre Dame territory. So about a quick 5-yard pickup on the play. The sticks.
That was great pass protection by Davis, too. It was a little slide protection. He had to get the defensive end, and he just went and got him. You remember Walter Payton? Walter Payton was the best pass-protecting running back I ever saw. He would go attack those guys. They didn't want him blocking them. They'd rather have a lineman than get Walter Payton.
3rd down and 2 from the 46 of Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's going to take a timeout, huh?
Timeout called on the field. And they'll talk it over.
Well, it's a big down. I mean, it's a 3rd down. Anytime you get this 3rd downs, whether you want to call it the money down or the key down or whatever you want to call it, this is this is a turnover. If you can make a play, you got an opportunity to get a turnover. And with the way the Notre Dame offense is going, you're looking at the clock going, if we can get the ball back with 5 minutes to go,
right? I
mean, we got a great chance to go down and get another score. So, if they can get a play, I think if you're San Jacinto, you're in 2-down territory. I mean, I think you're going for it unless you get a penalty or unless you get a big sack or something where you go backwards. I just don't think you can punt the ball. I mean, I don't think they've shown defensively that they can get off the field.
Scott Lambert, defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, came over with Aaron Huerta. They'd worked together at Servite, and they had a great defensive game plan last week, Coach. I know you said you watched the game.
Yeah.
How great was their game plan last week?
Excellent. And against a well-coached Citrus Valley team, Kurt Brewitt.
3rd down and 2. This is Davis right up the gut, 1st down. I guess he's listening to you, Coach.
Yeah. Right? I mean, am I crazy? Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing?
I mean, 4 yards. If you hand a guy the ball 3 times and get 4 yards each time, you have a 1st down.
Well, and sometimes he gets 20 yards.
Right. True.
I mean, every once in a while he gets 20 yards.
Clock moving. 1st and 10, San Jacinto from the Notre Dame 42. Kajaya Holloway, deep drop. He's going to air it out. Got a man downfield. Jaden Rowe with an acrobatic interception.
Wow.
Touchback in the end zone. and the senior makes a big play, one-on-one with Caleb Harvey, and Jayden Rowe scores the turnover for Notre Dame.
Jayden Rowe's listed at 6 feet. I don't think he's 6 feet. He looks like a little kid next to Hervey. And he just went up, battled him with his hand, a little hand fighting. Referees let it go like they should. Went up and took the ball. What a great play. And now you're Notre Dame. You're on offense again with a chance to go down and really make some noise. You go down and get another touchdown, you're 2 scores.
And that's a big one because if Hervey reels that one in, it's a 2-score game, or it's a lead for the Tigers.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah. And the turnover now spins the ball the other way.
Now, notice San Jacinto's got an extra guy in the game. We talked about this. They got 8 guys in the box now.
1st and 10 from the 20. Here's the give. This is Green trying to bounce it back inside. He'll stay inside. He'll keep fighting over the 25 to about the 27. Physical runner Joseph Green runs with his pads low. He was a sit-out kid, and he's really helped the offense the last 5 games for Jason McMains and the Titans.
Yeah, they're doing a good job in the run game. You know, they don't look big on the O-line, but they're getting some push. They're doing their thing. San Jacinto has moved Newton to the nose guard spot now. He's no longer an outside edge guy. He's now the nose guard.
7-yard gain, 2nd and 3 from the 27. Koenig to the outside. Hudak with the catch. Hudak gets away from the first tackle, and he gets cleaned up by Hunter, living up to his name up to the 43-yard line. 16-yard pickup on the play. Aaron Huerta not happy about that.
Boy, it just feels like they're starting to get comfortable, doesn't it? Feels like Notre Dame's starting to get comfortable on offense.
Rhythm.
Yeah, Koenig looked good on that throw. He looked like he was totally comfortable.
Pass complete. Call it the 44. Passing game has really been click in the last, now 2.5 weeks or so for Notre Dame. Try a little bit of a misdirection play, and not fooled was the defense.
It looked like that took too long to develop, didn't it? Looked like, I don't know if it was busted or if it was just a long developing play, but slow developing is probably not as good. I think their big advantage right now is they can get the edge. So get it out there as fast as you can, you know.
Newton gets in there along with William Stinnett. A couple of big boys on the inside. So Stinnett outside. He's a big boy trying to help set the edge, and they move Newton back outside. 2nd and 15 for Notre Dame, 39 of the Titans. Bunch formation to the bottom of your screen. And Koenig keeps it, gets out of the grasp there, throws the ball out to Hudak, and could have been intercepted, but it was not incomplete. On the coverage was Mora for San Jacinto, Brian Matos.
I'm not sure if that got busted or if that was, they might have outthought themselves by 1 step on that one, because it looked like if they'd have just run the reverse, that it was there. It looked like they had the perimeter, to Mosley on the reverse, but then I don't know if it was a fake reverse pass, but it looked like they should have just ran the reverse. It was out there.
Either way, 3rd down and 15.
Third long now, yeah.
1st down will be to the 46 of San Jacinto. Hudak to the near side. Here's Koenig in motion. Koenig looking pump fake down the field. Looking for Hudak, one-on-one with McFrazier, incomplete. Hand fighting down the field. The ball falls incomplete about the 25.
They gave him a chance. There's just nothing there. There's great coverage by San Jacinto. They tried to run a double move, and it's hard to run a double move on 3rd and 15. The double move is really for 2nd and 4,
right?
Where you got a chance to get them. But 3rd and 15, they're not biting on the first move. They know it's not a first down.
We may have an injury situation with Ashton Othaman. He's not been out there, and normally he punts, but he is not punting. Looks like Justice Robinson is going to get in there to punt. It'll be a short kick, and it was going to take a San Jacinto bounce, but it was recovered and downed by Gergen. That was Adam Gergen who downed the ball for Notre Dame. So good field position for San Jacinto. They trail 20-15 with 2:49 left in the first half. Gonzalo-San Vinny Fazio with you. J.R. Ibarra down on the sideline. We got ourselves a playoff game, Coach.
That was a big stop, and then you get the bad punt, and now all of a sudden that is a big turn. San Jacinto had not been really doing much defensively. Notre Dame was kind of doing whatever they wanted. Now all of a sudden they get a stop and a short punt. You get great field position. You got a chance to take the lead before halftime.
Classic situation. A touchdown here would be big for San Jacinto, obviously. Thrown to the outside to Hervey. Incomplete on the coverage for Notre Dame. Ryan Hernandez, 2nd and 10. It's big, Coach, because, San Jacinto gets the ball coming out in the second half. So that old Tom Brady trick where he scores and then he gets the ball back.
Yeah, for sure. And I think in this kind of game, it's a factor where you got kind of a little bit of a track meet going.
So Rocha and Hunter to the near side. Hervey in the far slot. 2nd and 10. Hanlon. Holloway pulls it down. Now he'll throw the ball down the field. Incomplete.
What they're getting is they're giving them an empty formation, and Notre Dame is staying in their 4-3 and kind of bumping in the 4-3 cover 2 look. But Notre Dame only has 3 guys to the 3 receiver side, but they have 3 guys to the 2 receiver side. And Holloway is looking initially to the 2 receiver side on the left there, but that's where they're outnumbered. He needs to look to the 3 receiver side. They're 3-on-3 over here. They're 2-on-3 on the other side. He needs to look to the 3 receiver side first. That's where the opening is going to be in this empty formation.
3rd and 10. This time he's got Davis with him. He'll throw the ball down the field. Open in the middle of the field. Incomplete. That was Hunter. LaQuesta was in on the coverage. Incomplete, 4th down.
Well, a couple of those throws are high, but your receivers got to make a play for you at some point. They had 2 chances to make catches there that would have been first downs. Now, they were high throws, but they were also throws that hit both of their hands. And when it hits both of your hands, you got to get those if you're going to want to win deep round playoff games, which is what this is. So, they're going to have to make those plays for their quarterback and pick him up.
Good part of the field for a fake. If San Jacinto wanted to try one, they won't. Hervey will punt it. And fielded at the 13. Little love tap there at the end of that one. Aiden Koenig makes the catch.
I think this is good officiating. It was a late fair catch signal. He did make it, but he made it real late. And so there's no reason to call a penalty on the guy. He wasn't down there trying to do something. I always think intent.
Yeah.
What was his intent? Was he trying to cheap shot him? No, he didn't. He thought didn't know he was going to fair catch. Fair caught it late. Let him fair catch it. I thought that was good officiating right there.
The good basketball officials always talk about, I need to see, is it going to be an advantage?
Yeah, I'm with you.
If it's going to be a gain advantage, then you got to throw the flag or blow the whistle. If not, you don't worry about it.
You got Othamot back on the field now, so that's big for Notre Dame.
He's to the far side. To the near side is Hudak for the Titans. They lead 20-15. A couple of minutes left here in the second quarter. Here's Mosley on that shovel pass up to the 20-yard line. He'll be taken down at the 22. That was Kelvin Davis making the tackle. So about 9 yards on the play, very close to a first down.
Going to get a hold here on Notre Dame.
So the first penalty called on the Titans.
Yeah, boy, there haven't been a lot, huh?
After that flurry of false starts on San Jacinto, been a pretty clean game.
And those were false starts. I mean, those are no-brainers,
right.
But that's the first real penalty, when you really think about it.
We had the offsetting personal foul.
Yeah, the offsetting personal foul. But, really, this has been a very clean game, which I guess it should be, right, when you're playing in the quarterfinals. Let's see if you can see it here.
There it is.
Yeah, it looked like right there on Hervey, huh?
From the 5, first down up to the 24-yard line. So a 1st and 19.
Oh, he fumbled.
Ball's on the turf, still loose. This would be big. I believe Notre Dame seems to have covered it.
San Jacinto's got
San Jacinto football.
Yeah. Ooh,
that's
boy.
Huge, Coach.
Boy. And really all they're trying to do is kind of run the clock out.
Get a look at it. Mosley just didn't quite get it, and Hervey was right there. He was Johnny on the spot. Big play by Caleb Hervey.
Well, and Davis was in the backfield fast, too. The little blitzing linebacker was back there, and I think it made Mosley look up, and they just didn't get the exchange clean. That's tough. They're just kind of trying to get out of the half, and they're going to end up giving San Jacinto the ball with great chance to score here and take the lead before halftime.
Would be huge for San Jacinto. Mentioned earlier, they get the ball to start the second half. Let's see what Coach Eric Galliano can dial up here. First and goal from the 3. That's Sebastian Carmona, the tight end, shuttling in motion.
It's like San Jacinto wants a timeout. They didn't have the right formation, motion, combination that they wanted. You know, you got to give a lot of credit here to the San Jacinto defense, right? They didn't look very good. For 2 or 3 series. They didn't look very good. And now all of a sudden they've stood up. They rolled that extra guy. They got in an 8-man front. They got out of the too high look, got into the 8-man front, and they've started to blitz a little bit. And the blitz has kind of, I think, thrown Notre Dame off a little in their run game. All of a sudden they're making some plays in the run game.
They've really improved defensively. We were talking to Coach Galliano before the game. Coach Codgill, who's now his defensive coordinator, has really stepped up. They've dropped their points per game. They gave about 23 points per game last year. This year, 13.6.
Yeah, that's a big
They
change.
gave about 328 yards per game last year. This year, down to 232 yards per game.
That's a huge change.
So just really, obviously, talent has a lot to do with that.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to coach them.
For sure. And you got to have some fight in you, too. You know, you didn't look very good for 3 series. You got to keep fighting. Can't give up. Got to keep going, and they have.
From the 3, San Jacinto, it's a 1st and goal. Davis is the single back. Thomas and Hervey to the top of your screen. DeMonte Williams to the near side. Davis between the tackles. Big hit. They'll drop him at about the 2.
Well, I'll tell you what, Notre Dame's battling in there, man. They're hitting and thudding, and they're not afraid. They're getting in there and mixing it up with San Jacinto, and they've kind of mucked the game up a little bit. You know, San Jacinto's offense, everything looked easy and kind of smooth and cool, and now all of a sudden it's kind of got mucked up a little bit for them.
Notre Dame just came out last week, and everything kind of went their way. They smashed Citrus Valley early. The Blackhawks did show some resistance, but ultimately they were able to finish it off. Here's Davis just sneaking in over the left side. Touchdown, San Jacinto.
I love the call by Coach Galindo there to go back to Davis. You know, I know he likes to throw it, and I know he likes that to be part of it, but Davis just has an advantage. I really think he has an advantage. And if they just keep hammering him in there, he's going to make plays. I think he's the best player. You know, I think if they just keep hammering him, he's going to make something happen. I love going back to him. It didn't look very good on first down. Go back to him. Give him another chance.
Last week, Notre Dame was up 21-0, and the Blackhawks scored 14 points in the 3rd quarter. And Notre Dame used 2 turnovers to kind of capitalize on both, and the PAT by Uruguay is good to make it 22-20. So back in the lead is San Jacinto, and we'll get a look at that touchdown run by Davis. Just nobody almost would have been a touchdown in touch football. Rowe with the coup de grace late, but he'd already broken the plane. It was a 21-14 game. You could sense the momentum going to Citrus Valley, and then all of a sudden there was a special teams play, a fumble on a touchdown, and then a play. Aiden Koenig dislodged a ball from a Citrus Valley player, and then Notre Dame was able to put the ball in the end zone, and all of a sudden it's a 35-14 game.
Well, if you're Notre Dame, you got 2 timeouts. You got 1 minute and 8 seconds. You've been good on offense.
Right.
I mean, so you're thinking score. I mean,
right.
You're in score mode right now. You're not in let's go to half mode. You're in let's get the ball, let's get a return and go score.
Little pooch kick.
They're going to have great field position.
Hudak fields it to 32. He'll get maybe to the 40, and that'll be good field position for Notre Dame.
San Jacinto is not the kicker doesn't, I don't think, understand the concept of the squib kick. You know, that is not what you want. That they're going to have the ball at the 40 now.
No.
You know, if you're going to do that, just kick it out of bounds. You know, if that's you when you squib kick, you got to kick it hard and let it bounce and get way down there. These balls are way too easy to field, and so they're getting great field position. I mean, they're, you know, what are they, 30 yards from having a chance at a field goal?
Yeah. Now, June Huang this year is 6 of 8 for his career, nearly 70%, 69.4%.
And he had the leg on the long field goal earlier. It was just wide.
Hit the upright last week, too, on a 38-yarder. 1st and 10, Notre Dame from the 40. Koenig down the field, intercepted.
Yeah, he just airmailed it.
Keith Hunter makes the pick at the 36-yard line. Just miscommunication. Was somebody supposed to be there, Coach?
No, I think he just airmailed it. I think the guy was open. It was a seam route. And, you know, part of what you're trying to do in the 3-5, if you're playing the cover 3 look, which San Jacinto is, you want to get the linebackers under the seam route. So they're going to try to drop the linebackers underneath the seam to make it a high throw. And then there it is. He just airmailed it. I mean, you need to drop that seam in between the linebackers and the DBs. There's a window in there, but it's a hard window. It's a hard window to drop the ball in, and they had a little pressure, and he just airmailed it. He just threw it high. And now if you're San Jacinto, you're thinking score. I mean, you got a minute to go and a timeout.
Converted 1 turnover already, have the Tigers 1st and 10. Here's the throw to the outside. It's complete. Up to midfield. Tackle
he didn't
by
get out of
Koenig
bounds.
on Hervey. Did
That's
not get out of
mistake.
bounds. You're right. They'll mark it up to the 49, so a 14-yard completion from Halloween to Hervey.
I know he likes to run guys over, but you got to get out of bounds there. The clock's running.
Clock moving, 44 seconds to play. Holloway will fling it, sitting down in the middle of that zone down to the 38-yard line. So a first down.
Well, the receivers are playing now for San Jacinto. That's 2 pretty good catches in a row there.
Carmona had 3 catches last week. Sebastian Carmona, one of the seniors. He aspires to coach. I know Eric Galliano very
for him.
Happy about him. From the 38, Holloway will fling it down. Another receiver is open, and this time Thomas, did he get out of bounds? He did.
May want to think about their timeout. I think his knee went down. This clock's going to run here.
So that's to the 26-yard line. He is such a smooth motion coach when he flings that football.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he whips it. 18, 17.
Clock ticking. Have not used the timeout yet. Holloway needs to make a decision here. Incomplete. It'll stop the clock. Hervey, the intended receiver. Jaden Rowe on the coverage for Notre Dame. 8 seconds to play in the first half.
He's a young quarterback. But one thing you teach your quarterbacks is with the time running out, if the play's not there, just burn it. And let's run another play, But that ended up being a 12-second play. And so now, you really got one throw and then hope you have field goal time, And so now he really needs to know that. You only got 8 seconds. So this ball's got to come out right now.
1 timeout left for San Jacinto, so they could throw the ball to the middle of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. The timeout is big.
22-20. It's been a good one here in the first half.
It looks like they're going to call their timeout.
So I don't know what Uruguay has had 1 field goal on the year. I believe it was a 30-yarder, so I don't know what his range really is. From here would be, Coach, about a 43-yard field goal.
Well, I think what you're telling them right here, if you're Galindo, is we want something towards the sideline, right? Something that we can get towards the sideline, get a little closer, and if we don't, if we don't get it, be ready if it's first down to run up and try to clock the ball. 8 seconds is hard. That's a tight window to try to get the ball clocked.
You listen to an Urban Meyer or a Nick Saban talk or a Belichick or a Chip Kelly. They talk about attention to detail, and you made a great point. Is that you got to know the time and score because you got to know when you have a chance to get out of bounds,
right?
You get out of bounds because you're not always going to have that chance. They're going to try to push you in the middle of the field.
Well, and I would have loved, again, I'm not a second guess guy. I would have loved to use the timeout on the completion with about 22 seconds. Use the timeout and then just work the other part of the field. But they might have a trick play here. They may have something good.
A 4-receiver stack to the near side. Holloway, middle of the field, complete to the 13.
They got a chance to clock it if they go. Oh, okay. They may get something here.
Well, because it was a first down, so that they'll reset the football. I don't know that they'll have time to clock it with 2
Well, they
seconds.
got a penalty. We got a penalty on the field. So if that's a penalty, if that's a targeting or a head contact, and the ball moves up, they may have time to clock the ball. Although it looks like they're just going to maybe try to run a play. They may not have time to do that. Oh, they're waving the flag off.
They're going to wave the flag off. The completion
have to go fast.
13, yes.
They got it off.
Holloway looking. And he'll go down. And that's Hanlon on the play. He's been so big for Notre Dame. Check that. That's Mercado. Mercado, the senior, making the play. He was on the team back as a freshman in 2015 when this team went to the CIF title and to the state playoff game. And that's how the half will end. 22-20. San Jacinto leads. I believe we'll have Aaron Huerta at the half with J.R. Ibarra going in, and then we'll get Eric Galliano on the way out. But a pretty good first half, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought, boy, San Jacinto was gonna kick themselves if this ends up, because they could have scored. They could have had some points there. Not going out of bounds was very costly. Holloway, taking 12 seconds on the play and trying to buy time. They cost themselves.
Aaron Huerta down on the field with J.R. Ibarra. It's 22-20 San Jacinto. J.R.
Coach, not a bad first half, but the turnovers, I'm sure, really hurt you.
Yeah, we know we can't turn the ball over, and that's something we haven't done in the past, and we're going to clean it up at halftime and be ready to go.
What do you like about the first half?
We're matching physicality with them. That's what I really like. And he's able to throw the ball, but we're there to make tackles, and we're doing our assignments.
Status on Othman, because it looks like he was nursing an injury there.
He's ready to go. He's ready to go. You'll see him make some plays in the second half.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Coach. All right, guys. Very tight game so far. Coach is still pretty positive about what may happen in the second half. We'll send it back up top.
I mean, why wouldn't you be positive, Coach?
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
it's a 22-20 ball game. You're going to have to give the ball to the other team to start. The defense has stepped up, and they're playing pretty good.
They've been – I mean, this game has really kind of ebbed and flowed as games between teams that are matched similarly do. But at first it kind of looked like San Jacinto was athletically going to overwhelm them, and then Notre Dame kind of mucked the game up a little bit and started executing on offense and did their thing, and then San Jacinto kind of sparked back up there at the end. So it's kind of had ebb and flow as a good playoff game should.
22-20 the score at the half. We'll step aside and come back with second half action here from Wheelock Stadium, the home of the RCC Tigers. CIF Division 7 quarterfinal playoff action. San Jacinto 22, Notre Dame 20.
Don't miss Riverside's annual Festival of Lights. It all starts with a switch-on lighting ceremony the day after Thanksgiving and lasts until January. Check out the twinkling lights at the Mission Inn, voted America's best public light display. Get into the holiday spirit, Riverside. Grab the kids and come to Main Street in downtown Riverside for holiday-themed vendors, family-friendly entertainment, unique dining and shopping, and of course, Santa Claus. To find out more, visit riversidefestivaloflights.com. Got junk too big for the trash can? Then call 311 to schedule a bulky item pickup. Riverside residents get 2 free pickups a year, but you gotta follow 3 simple rules. Bulky items must be curbside by 5:30 a.m. the day of your pickup, light enough for 2 people to lift, and the total volume can't be larger than 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot. If you got a lot of junk, check out our bulky item and e-waste drop-off events held several times each year. Bulky item pickup. Call us today and we'll haul it away.
I'm a police officer pilot. I've been with the city for a little over 10 years. I've always loved aviation and I've always loved law enforcement, so to be able to combine the two together, two of the things that I love the most. I've got experience in the background in law enforcement, so to couple that with aviation and fly every day and still do police work, that's why I'm out here. Work day shift 7 to 5. I usually get here a little before 7. We'll get an email on what occurred the previous evening, so I'll go through those. I'll also check temporary flight restrictions, so I'll check those and see if there's any in the area that we can't fly into. And then we'll go out and do a pre-flight on the helicopter. We'll walk around, check everything, make sure everything's functioning properly. And sometimes we're up for patrol. Other times when we're here on the ground, we'll respond to an incident. If a vehicle pursuit or a foot pursuit or something goes out, we'll launch for that. If there's a fire in the river bottom, we'll go up and provide air support for the firemen on the ground. Code enforcement uses us for their green pool flights, so we'll go up and we'll look for green pools. We're assisting a lot of different departments. I'm a 4th generation Riverside resident out of 5 generations now. My family has set roots here back in the 1900s, and I've got a connection to Riverside, so family and friends are here, and it's nice to give back to a community that you've been brought up in. So, if I were to describe my job in 2 words, it would be uniquely awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. I get to fly a helicopter and do something that I really enjoy doing, at the same time protecting and serving a community that I grew up in. So.
Los Novios is a Mexican market located on Main Street, not far from downtown Riverside. The name means young male bull, which is typically used for its high-quality meat. Alberto Murillo is the owner.
Been in the business for years and years, almost 20 years in the city of Riverside. And always, since I started working, I always dreamed like one day I'll have my own business. And since I'm being in Riverside for so many years, I said, well, this is a good opportunity. So I asked a couple friends, and my brother. hey, this is the opportunity of our life. Do we take it or not? And they're like, yes, go for it.
The store features a good selection of fruits, vegetables, canned goods, meats, and seafood. There's also several kinds of cheese, salsa, and guacamole. Loyal customers who shop here say it's because of their fresh food and great customer service.
I hike at Mount Rubidoux, and I go here every morning to buy fresh ceviche. It's a great market, and they're just gonna get bigger and better, so come shop here.
Usually I'll come in here to buy lunch, but if I need anything for my house, any supplemental groceries, I come in here and I buy everything. It's fresh.
Alberto says he trains his staff to treat customers like family. Mercedes Duran is one of his cashiers.
Just asking with how are you doing, that makes a really big difference. And just being in a small market, you kind of notice who's who and what are they doing. Sometimes we'll even ask them, like, what are you cooking today? Are you doing spaghetti? Are you doing carne asada? Or, that makes a difference. Yeah.
I wanted the people, when they came, I wanted to feel like welcome, like, oh, this is my house, like this is family. And that's what I wanted to tell all my customers, that they're not just customers, they're guests for me. They're guests, they're my guests, they're my family all the time. When they came, if I know their names, I tell them about their names and everything. I shake hands all day long, and I think they like it.
My name's Lovey Jung, and I work for the City of Riverside Fire Department. I've been here for about 7 years now, and I'm a firefighter paramedic on Engine 1. When I was younger, I actually wanted to be a firefighter, but I ended up getting sidetracked and went and played softball for the Olympic team in 2004 and 2008, and when I retired in 2009, that's when I decided I wanted to switch over to become a firefighter. Usually when I come in, the first thing I do is I check my personal protective equipment, and then I'll also check the medical equipment. Being a paramedic, I have to make sure all my medications are there and that my equipment's working properly, so that when we go on a scene to a medical aid, that everything's in working form and that we're professional on scene. If I were to describe my job in one word, it would be adventurous. Every day is different from day to day, depending on the training or the type of calls that we run. Some days we might go on more DUIs, or some days we might go on more traffic accidents. So every day that I come to work is going to be completely different from the day before and the next day. I get to work with a group of people that I enjoy working with and having that camaraderie that I missed from being an athlete. But now, being a mom, I want to be that role model for my daughter to, show her you can be independent and you can have a job that you want to work in, whether it's a male-dominated career or not. And I want her to understand that as she grows up.
We need to make sure our seniors are safe with consistent, proper nutrition and healthy foods delivered to their homes.
Elderly patients who do not have proper nutrition have a higher risk of irregular heart rhythms and sepsis.
Riverside's Meals on Wheels program can always use your help. If you can volunteer or donate, you can visit our website and get more information how you can participate, and we thank you.
Do you have unneeded prescription medications and don't know what to do with them? CVS Pharmacy and the Riverside Police Department have a safe and secure drop box located inside the Magnolia Police Station. This free and anonymous service keeps dangerous prescriptions out of the hands of children and abusers while protecting the environment through proper disposal. Most over-the-counter and prescription medications are safe to drop off. However, there are some restrictions. Items such as thermometers, inhalers, aerosol cans, ointments, lotions or liquids, and needles and sharps must be disposed of elsewhere. And please, residential clients only. This service is not for businesses to dispose of their medical waste. Help the City of Riverside keep dangerous prescriptions out of the hands of children and abusers by disposing your unneeded drugs in a safe, secure, and environmentally friendly way. You might have noticed new traffic lights popping up around Riverside, and the Public Works Department wants you to see how they work. First of all, you'll notice the new left turn signals consist of 4 lights: a red arrow, a solid yellow arrow, a flashing yellow arrow, and a green arrow. So how does traffic flow work with these new signals? First, we have the left green arrow, which indicates you have permission to turn left, but oncoming traffic must stop. A solid yellow arrow indicates that the light is about to turn red, and you must be prepared to stop, or if you're already in the intersection, complete your turn when safe. A solid red arrow means you must stop. No left-hand turns are allowed. When the signal changes to a flashing yellow arrow, turns are still permitted. However, you must yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians before proceeding with your turn. These new signals are being introduced nationwide and represent a safer and more efficient way to handle left-turn traffic at busy intersections. The City of Riverside encourages you to learn more about these new traffic signals, and if you have questions, call 311, Riverside's one-stop shop for answers. The City of Riverside has launched Riverside Alert, a mass notification service that allows emergency crews to alert you in the case of an emergency, potential hazard, or safety concern that may directly affect you. When you sign up, you'll receive a message on the voice or text communication method of your choosing. Here's how it works. Begin by creating an account on riversidealert.com. Once you've entered your information, you'll be listed to receive alerts. All information you provide will be kept strictly confidential. Riverside Alert allows you to confirm that you've received an alert to prevent the same alert from coming through again. You can also choose to receive notifications about events that may affect you or your loved one's workplace, home, school, and more. Go to riversidealert.com and sign up today.
The ones you see on the racks here and stuff are personal, you know, and I take a long time doing it, make sure, you know, there's lathe work and other stuff in there, and it's not just bandsaw cutting out and whatever. These things, it takes 3 or 4 days at a time to make one, and with the train it took probably a week. People say, you know, you can sell these. You go on eBay or whatever and sell them. And no, that'd be like work. I'm retired, you know. When I was in Fleetwood, they had a charity called Rosie's Kids. And they used to do little fundraisers and stuff all year long to get enough money to buy clothing and food and stuff at Christmas time. And so I suggested, well, maybe you could throw a toy in it too, you know.
Ghazal Hassan, Vinny Fazio, J.R. Barron, our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew. This is Kelvin Davis, and he gets it off to a good start. And then watch a little trickeration here as Sebastian Carmona with the little jump pass for the 2-point conversion to make it 8-0. Notre Dame comes right back. Ashton Offament from Rodney Koenig makes the reception. And we'll get some more first-half highlights here. Caleb Hervey with a touchdown. J.R. Ibarra, though, is on the field with Eric Galliano, the head coach for San Jacinto. His team leads at the half, 22-20.
Coach, it's a tight lead, but I'm sure you want it to be a little bit better first half for you.
Yeah, they exploited us a little bit on the special teams. We made some mistakes on the special teams. We just got to try to recover from that and not do those big plays. They had 2 big plays on kickoff returns that put them in good field position. One of them we got a great stop, and the other one they scored. So if we clean up those things, I think it's going to be okay.
Anything different from you guys in the second half?
No, we made some minor adjustments on both sides of the football. Some things that we saw that they were doing. We just got to execute the game plan and move forward.
All right, good luck to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys, we'll send it back up top. Let's get this second half going.
The old O-lineman, I mean, he's not old, he's a young guy, but I mean, he used to be an O-lineman. He played at Utah State. We'll get a look at Tyler Mosley. Has 2 touchdowns in the first half. Mosley, 8 carries, 91 yards. He also has 3 receptions for 25 yards. And what is that about? You've been in that locker room in playoff games making those adjustments. Obviously, you can't do anything too major. We see Mosley's second touchdown run here. What are some minor tweaks that you see that could happen on either team?
Well, I think you've already kind of seen them start doing it. You saw San Jacinto roll into the true 3-5 instead of the kind of too high look that they were in earlier. Mm-hmm. You saw Notre Dame kind of start to take advantage of that stretch play and the outside run play. So I think you've already kind of seen a little bit of ebb and flow. These guys are good coaches. Both sides are well coached. So they're going to adjust, and this first drive is really going to be important. San Jacinto gets the ball, and they got a chance to go down, and if they get a score, they can go up 2 scores here. So this is a big time in this game. Notre Dame's got to really rise up and make a play here.
From being a head coach that a lot of your success is attributed to who you bring with you. Having a staff is a big deal. And I know, obviously your father can speak to it as being kind of a right-hand man for Dick Bruick all those years at Fontana. But 2 adjustments that both these coaches made. Obviously, Aaron Huerta, everything was new to him. He brought in Jason McMains. I know you think he's done a great job on the offensive side. And Coach Codgill working for Eric Galliano, the new defensive coordinator, has adjusted them. They had a great year defensively this year. How does that work? How does it mesh when you bring in a new coordinator to get it going so quickly?
Well, it just depends. When you get a guy like Jason McMains, you get a guy like Jason McMains, you just go, hey, do your thing, man.
That's what Coach Huerta has done.
You just do your thing. You do your thing. I'd like to kind of know what you're doing, but do your thing. And that's what Alex Pierce has always done with me. Mm-hmm. Hey, just do your thing. I'd like to kind of know what you're doing, but do it. Now, if you get a younger guy, you're probably going to be a little more hands-on. I think Coach Galindo is probably a little more hands-on with what's going on and wants to know and wants to be involved. But if you can get a Jason McMains, you get him and you figure it out. Here, do your thing.
The old North Turner thing.
Figure it out, baby.
Right.
Yeah, he's that good.
Underway in the second half, Kwong with the kick. This is McFrazier from the 9. Trying to pick his way up.
Ball's on the ground.
The ball's loose. Flag comes in. Notre Dame comes up with it. Was he down is the question.
There's a flag and there's the ball. I think it's Notre Dame's ball if the flag's not on them. It looks like it might be a face mask penalty.
We get the signal, Adam Gergen indicating a face mask. Won't say on who it is.
They're going to have to kick it again, right?
Face mask against the Titans. Let's get another look at it. So McFrazier to the outside here, and that's where the ball becomes dislodged.
Yeah,
and Notre Dame football.
So they're going to have to kick this again. They have to go back and kick it again because it can't. Otherwise, it's Notre Dame's ball. You can have the 15 yards or 5 yards or whatever, but it's Notre Dame's ball. They're going to have to kick it again.
Just the second penalty of the game on Notre Dame for 15 yards, not counting a couple that were offset. And
that's a big play there. And now you may say, well, if he wouldn't have grabbed his face mask, he might not have fumbled, and that you may have an argument there. But boy, that's a big play. I mean, if that's Notre Dame's ball at the 15-yard line,
it's a big,
going to
it's
score,
a big deal.
You're talking about a huge difference.
So June Huang to kick it away again. Looks like Hunter back with McFrazier now. It was DeMonte Williams before. Huang, 4-year varsity player, exchange student from South Korea, McFrazier from the 10. Finds some space in the middle, spins off the tackle,
up to the 34. So worked out pretty well for the Tigers, Vinny.
Well, that's the first time they've kind of got that going. You know, they're trying to run that cross block return, and so far they haven't been able to get that crease, and they kind of got the crease that time. But Notre Dame does a good job in a kick game. There's just not much there. I mean, that the 35, that was a pretty well executed return by San Jacinto there just to get to the 35-yard line. So Notre Dame's really in the kick game is very solid.
22-20, San Jacinto with the lead and the ball.
They came out with 12. They got too many guys on the field.
You see the man running off the field for the Tigers. Did he get off in time is the question.
Yeah, it's illegal participation. You can't break the huddle with 12 guys on offense. Even if he comes off, you're still illegal if you break the huddle with 12, and they don't huddle. Now they're a no huddle team, but you can't get into a formation, come out and start to get into a formation.
You can't have 15 guys there and then throw 3
and then run 3 guys off. Right.
They'll call that every time. So 5-yard mark off, ball back to the 30 of San Jacinto. 1st and 15. Holloway gets it out of his hands quickly. Thomas up the sideline. Anderson gets over Anderson, but he does shove him out at about the 47. So 23 yards, let's say, on that pickup for the big fella.
Boy, Thomas is fun to watch play, huh? Every time I see him do something, I'm like, whoa. Good block, and he's got good natural athleticism for a big guy. You know, he's not gangly, he's not awkward. He's just good, for a big, tall guy. Sometimes those guys haven't grown in their body yet. He has.
From the 49 of Notre Dame is where they mark it, 1st and 10. Here's Williams on the end around. Eric Hanlon says hello and drops him at about the 45.
Yeah, to get that fly sweep going, I'm a fly sweep guy, but to get that fly sweep going, you got to get the edge hooked. If you don't get the edge hooked, he just runs in and makes a tackle. They tried to run the fly sweep there, but they didn't get Hanlon hooked, and he just got in the backfield, and he's right there to make the tackle.
He's been such a presence. He's one of the Carnegie kids, a junior defensive lineman. Played inside earlier the year, now playing outside, doing a great job for the defense of Notre Dame. 2nd and 15, ball from the 46. We're back in San Jacinto territory. Davis gets to the outside. Back into Notre Dame territory, not quite at the first down. Out of bounds at about the 42.
He just puts a lot of pressure on you, Davis does, because he makes the first guy miss all the time. And so it's hard. The numbers game kind of breaks down. When you're doing a defense, you want the number. You want to have one guy there. Well, they have a guy there, but he just runs right by him. They had a gun block guy standing in the hole. He just ran right by him.
Playing for Juan Denny. Interesting situation at running back for San Jacinto this year. This is Davis again fighting forward inside the 35. Maybe 10 more yards for him, another first down.
Man, San Jacinto has got some guys. I coached at San Jacinto in 2005, and we had some guys. But they got guys. This is the most guys I've ever seen at that place. They got some guys.
Seth Gergen with the tackle. Met Seth's mom before the game.
Davis and Thomas and Holloway and Hervey and
a bunch of sophomores and juniors, too, that are all going to be back next year. 1st and 10 from the 34. They'll go right back to the bread and butter up the middle into the teeth of the defense. Clock continues to move, a couple of yards on the play.
You can definitely see the difference when Davis isn't the running back. Mm-hmm. You can definitely see, when you're Notre Dame,
the pile doesn't move.
You got to take a chance. You got to take your opportunities when he's not in the game, because you got a chance there. That it's not. The danger is less.
Thomas
nice
on the outside. Up to the 30, a couple more yards, it'll be 3rd and 6. That's his 6th reception on the evening.
That was a great play by the corner. Oh, looks like he's down. He's hurt.
Jaden Rowe making the play for Notre Dame. Actually, that's Aiden Koenig making the play.
He did a great job there beating that block. Went right by that little out block on the quick screen. That's the same quick screen they ran on the first play. They tried to come back to it against the cover 2 look, and he just beat him. He just beat the guy coming to block him. It wasn't San Jacinto had numbers. He just beat him. He's going to throw it out there. There comes the block, and he beats him, and he's right there. Thomas makes him miss, but by the time he's able to do all that, they get guys over to the ball. So that was a great play by Koenig.
He had a big hit last week to cause a fumble against Citrus Valley. He's had a great year all year.
Taking a big 3rd down now.
3rd and 7 from the 31. 4 receivers in the formation, 2 by 2 go the Tigers. Davis, the lone setback. They'll feed Davis.
Busted play.
And Hanlon will take him down. It'll be 4th down.
They made a mistake. If you watch it, I don't know if we have the replay, but San Jacinto pulled 2 guys into each other. So I think they blew the call. Both the tackles thought that they were the puller. If you watch, you can't quite see, but look, there's 2 guys that kind of run into each other in there. They pulled into each other, and now you're in 4th down. They're going to go for it. They're leaving the offense on the field here.
Ball needs to get to the 24, so 4th and 7, call it.
It's a big play here.
Davis, the setback. Holloway.
Pump and go.
Got Thomas. Complete. Inside the 5. Instead, that's Hervey was one-on-one with Koenig.
Now, that was set up. Coach Galindo set that up, right? They've been running the quick screen. Hervey goes out and blocks. Quick screen, Hervey goes out and blocks. This time he goes and fakes the block and then runs vertical. And they throw it up, and he's wide open.
Jaden Rowe, on the coverage.
Well-designed play by Coach Galindo there.
1st and goal from the 3. So San Jacinto just bringing the ball right down the field. They'll feed Davis. No signal yet.
I thought he was in, but he's not going to get the call.
Down inside the 1. So Davis now 114 yards unofficially on 15 carries. He's got a couple of touchdowns tonight.
He's going to get one more right here, right? They're going to go back to him, right?
Got to feed him.
Right?
2nd and goal from the 1. Holloway, option. Trying to find the corner. He'll spin in and get in.
That was a nice defensive play.
They'll stop him inside the 1 again.
Was that Rowe? I couldn't tell if that was Rowe. Looked like Rowe coming down from the safety spot. Good job by the edge. 32 there, set the edge. That's
Gergen.
Rowe.
And Rowe stands him up. Jaden Rowe.
That was a great play by Gergen. Here's a big play now.
Davis, this time. He's in. Touchdown, San Jacinto.
Davis just has a nose, man. He has a nose. He knows what he needs to get, and he finds a way to get it. He's a very natural player for a sophomore.
8 plays, 66 yards for San Jacinto. About 4 minutes on the drive, 3:54 to be exact. And Uruguay will put it through, and it's 29-22 to a 2-score game.
Yeah, that's a big kick there.
You look at the drive. Williams starts it off with the return. Remember, they had the fumble earlier, which was erased on the penalty.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it was a big play. It really was. And then Holloway
There's
gets
the quick screen. You see Hervey blocking out there. That's the setup for the play that's going to come later.
So Thomas traverses into Notre Dame territory. He's had a big game with 6 receptions. Big play by Hanlon there for Notre Dame, stopping DeMonte Williams. And then Davis, a couple of nice runs. Gets inside, then bounces outside on that one. Kickoff coming to Notre Dame. Another squibber fielded at the 32. And then here's the throw down the field that you were talking about.
Yeah, just went right by him. It was all set up. They ran it, and then set it up to throw the pump and go.
And then the give to Davis, and that's how he gets first stop. I thought he might have been in on that one.
I thought he was.
Jaden Rowe here stops.
That's a great play by Rowe here.
Going up high to drop him. And then finally Davis burrows in for the touchdown.
All right, you're in a little bit of critical highway to the danger zone, as they say right here. If you're Notre Dame, you got to get points.
Dropping Kenny Loggins is Vince Fazio. How about that? 1st and 10 from the 31. Mosley picking his way. Stood up by Matos.
So what's happening right now is the San Jacinto guys are up into it, right? You see Hervey come off the ball there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's into it now. He thinks they're going. He thinks they got a chance to put this game away. So he flew off the ball, like a lightning bolt there on that one. And he was in the backfield to disrupt things. So Notre Dame's got to kind of take the punch again. They took it earlier and they fought back and got back into it. But right now, San Jacinto feels like this is their chance to maybe throw a knockout blow.
2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 from the 33. Koenig.
Oh, he's uncovered.
Finds Joseph Green in the flat. Green up to the 42-yard line. 1st down, Notre Dame.
Well-designed play by Coach McMains to sneak the running back out that way, get him in the flat, and there was nobody out there.
So Green, his first reception. He's been an addition. He sat out the first 5 games for Notre Dame, but he's been an addition. Had a solid game last week. Comes in 10 receptions, 63 yards. So he's kind of a guy who'll keep you honest, a good safety valve for Koenig. Interesting formation here.
Yeah, this is the one where they motioned to get it to Mosley earlier. They're trying to run the stretch. Oh, he fumbled.
Ball's on the turf and recovered by San Jacinto.
That's a couple costly turnovers.
That's the senior Brian Matos, his second fumble recovery on the season, and a big play for the Tigers defense in Notre Dame territory.
And it's just Hervey again. Hervey has been so disruptive. Coming off the ball hard, and he's in the backfield right away. He's setting the force. He's making the plays back there. And then a good job by the secondary defense there by San Jacinto. Good job by Matos. You're seeing the second guy. You know, once they made the move to the true 3-5, you know, they got out of the too high look and into the 8-man front. They've been much more effective on setting the edge, and you saw Matos right there. That time he gets the fumble recovery.
So 29-20 San Jacinto, they could really put some space between them and the Titans here. Notre Dame's defense, big opportunity here. They're going to have to play the short field. Holloway looked like he was going to go for it. Throw the ball down the field, and it's complete to the 20-yard line. On the coverage was LaCuesta. The reception to Keith Hunter.
The receivers have shown up for San Jacinto. Remember a couple drives ago in the first half, they kind of let him down a little bit, but they've made a couple really good catches here in the last few drives.
So Keith Hunter with the reception.
Holloway can whip it, man.
Holloway has now completed his last 7 passes. First down from the 20. And Gergen and Hanlon combine to drop him for a loss back to the 28-yard line.
It just never got going. I think it was supposed to be a shovel pass. I saw him run this in warm-ups. They start one way and then kind of shovel it back the other way. And I think if you see, look at the running back coming back for the shovel. 28, Davis was coming back for the shovel, but they were just, Gergen and Hanlon were already in his face. And he just said, screw it, didn't he? Ate it, you know. That was a good decision by, you know, he took a loss, but he didn't take a chance. That was actually a good decision there by Holloway.
Just so active up front. He's been really impressed with the last 2 weeks. 2nd and 17. Holloway complete. That's DeMonte Williams. He'll catch the ball inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and that's too many to give up there. I know you see they're in 2nd and 17 or whatever, and you want to give them a little cushion, but that's too many. Give them 10 yards. You know, that's an easy 10 yards, and now they're in a convertible 3rd down situation.
So Holloway now 15 of 23 through the air for 238 yards unofficially. He's just ringing it up. 3rd and 7. Comes pressure. Holloway will run it. First down. Not quite into the end zone. No, he is. Touchdown, Holloway. Crossed the ball over the plane just outside the pylon.
Well, it looked like Randall Cunningham on that one, huh?
That's a throwback call. I like
it
that
opened.
One, Coach.
He's got those big old long legs. Man, that looked like Randall Cunningham going up the middle and finding the end zone. Boy, he is an athlete. That kid's going to be fun to watch for a couple of years. He's fun to watch now.
17-yard TD run for Kajaya Holloway and makes it a 35-20 game. And a PAT coming up from Uruguay for San Jacinto. Nearly blocked, but it'll be through, making it 36-20. We covered a game for San Jacinto last year. They played Arlington, and I was talking to Eric Galliano about Kajaya Holloway. You know, Holloway is still 15, turned 16 till after the season. He was a 14-year-old starting at quarterback last year as a freshman, and we were talking about how he came about that. Coach Galliano's first year as head coach, they lost in the 2nd round of the CIF playoffs to Cajon, and he saw Jaden Daniels, and he said, you know, it can make it work. And obviously Daniels has gone on to an incredible career. He's going to have a big career going forth. And that's what he envisioned with Kajaya Holloway. And although he's not all the way there yet, you can see what he saw as the squibber bounces inside the 30. Hernandez fields it. He'll get taken down there at the 28. And that's where Notre Dame will start it. Well, the bad news if you're Notre Dame is you're down 2 scores. The good news is you still got about 18 minutes to go.
Well, and you're only down 2 scores. I mean, it's 36-20. So if you got a couple 2-point plays, you're still there. You know, now what's happened is that the defense has kind of let them down a little bit. They're not able to get stops on the last couple drives, and so if they're not going to be able to get any stops, then it gets really hard. You know, if San Jacinto's just going to go up and down and score, you know, it looks like San Jacinto's defense has stabilized a little bit, and so this becomes a very important time in this game where they're going to have to go down and get some points.
Rodney Koenig, I thought really came of age in the last 2 weeks. A lot of it's on his shoulders here. Throw the ball to the outside, complete to Othman. Othman trying to make something happen after the catch. He'll stretch for the first down over the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and you kind of saw Notre Dame starting to get comfortable there in the second quarter, but they look uncomfortable. You know, they've looked uncomfortable again on the last few drives as San Jacinto has kind of started to gear it up. So, again, they're going to have to stay the course. They're okay. They're still in the game. They're going to have to stay the course, though, because Hervey and those guys are fired up now. They're playing.
From the 40, it's a 1st and 10 for Notre Dame. Koenig to throw. Pressure. Spins away from it. He's got to get rid of it. Complete to his brother, Aiden, who's the safety valve. Takes a big lick, but he's up to the 46-yard line. Only a 6-yard gain. That's a big 6 yards hit on the play by Cameron Rocha.
Rocha comes downhill, man.
Yeah,
he's a physical.
He could have played at faux high, coach.
Man, he is. You know, he looks like a faux. He looks like a kid that played at faux high named Demetric Brown that I played with at faux high that would come downhill and hit you like that. He comes downhill, but that was a great play by Koenig there.
Yeah,
because that could have been a sack, and to just not take a sack was big, but then to turn into positive yards even bigger.
2nd and 4 from the 46 for Notre Dame. Trying to rally back here. They trail 36-20. Here's Aiden Koenig in motion. Low snap. Koenig looking down the field. He's got
open.
a man. Had to get rid of it. Mosley, I don't know if he broke off the route or just got started late. Coverage was Rocha for San Jacinto.
Well, the play was open. It was a well-designed play, and it was there, but Hervey's just winning. Hervey is winning individual battles right now because he is up into it. He's interested. He's fired up. He's active. He thinks he can make every play. He's at the point in the game where he really feels like he can make every play, and so he's just going by guys because he thinks he's the best player right now. And so they're going to have to find a way to maybe go on 2 or something to try to slow him down a little bit, but he's coming, humming and coming.
3rd down. They need midfield for the first down. 2-back set. Here's Mosley. Koenig, controlled rolls, got a man.
It's a good throw.
Mosley with a first down at the 42-yard line of San Jacinto. Good game there.
You know, Matos was out there. He just didn't find the receiver behind him. You know, when you're dropping in a zone coverage, you got to be able to find that guy. You got to have we call it having your head on a swivel. Mm-hmm. You got to see the receiver. And watch Matos here. Let's see if he freezes. He steps up. He finds the receiver, but then he locks onto the quarterback, and the receiver sneaks in behind him. You know, you got to have your head on a swivel. You got to see quarterback and ball, quarterback and receiver, quarterback and receiver.
Man on the ball, man on the ball.
Absolutely, just like basketball.
Yep. 1st and 10 from the 42 of San Jacinto. Rodney Koenig now trying to light a fire under his Notre Dame Titans. Little trickeration. This is Othman up to the 39, so kind of a lot of movement, not much of a gain, but still a positive gain. 3 yards going forth.
That looked like the same one they ran earlier. And what I like about this drive for Notre Dame is that they're kind of trying to keep San Jacinto off the field a little bit, right? They're running the ball. They're doing some things. They're taking some time. They're not going as fast because I think they realize, listen, you know, the more possessions San Jacinto gets, their athletes are starting to kind of take this game over on that side of the ball. So we're going to have to not only score, but we're going to have to protect our defense a little bit too.
Nathan Ortiz and Kelvin Davis on the stop on that last play. 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8. From the 40, Koenig throwing. Complete.
Koenig's good, man. Isn't he good?
Yeah.
He's good. He just goes back there and hits that step and throws it. Man, he's a good player. Is he a senior? What grade is he?
Senior.
Yeah,
Senior.
He's good. Somebody recruit that kid.
10-yard pickup.
I'll tell you what, if you're at the University of Redlands or Laverne or Claremont College or whatever, don't you see that guy? Doesn't that guy look like a guy that would play quarterback?
Call Mark Maynard.
Yeah, I'm on it. Coach Maynard, he's probably watching. Coach Maynard, Koenig, get on him.
From the 30, 3:33 to play in the 3rd quarter. Mosley motioning. Here's Green. Green running inside between the tackles, and Sheldon Newton body slams him about the 24-yard line, but Joe Green can now tell all his children later about his encounter with the Sugar Bear because he came away okay. 6-yard gain on the play.
That was a little stretch play they were running earlier. San Jacinto's starting to set the edge, but then that ball cut back. You know, they got the edge set, and Green with a great read cut the ball back and found a lane.
To the 24 of San Jacinto. Good drive for the Titans. 2nd and 4. Mosley.
Oh, he made a miss.
Gets past the one tackle, and he'll get up inside the 20 to about the 16. First down, 8-yard run for Tyler Mosley.
Well, Ortega's got to make that tackle. Ortega's the force guy there, and he's got to make that tackle. He's right there. And you know, we tell those guys, those edge guys in the 3-5, you're the end of the world, man. Nothing can go outside of you. You got to either make the tackle or it's got to go back inside, but it can't go around. You know, and not only does he not make the tackle, but he lets the ball go around him.
I mean, he's a short tackler. He's
got to make that
He's
play.
their leading tackler, coach, and he actually had 8 tackles last week in the win against La Quinta.
Yeah, he's got to make that tackle.
From the 16 for Notre Dame, 1st and 10. Koenig loads it up, throws to the outside, complete to Offament at the 6-yard line. Just step and throw, coach, just like you were saying.
He's good, man. He looks like he's playing catch. Looks like he's throwing with his dad. Looks like he's in the backyard just playing catch with his brother or with his dad, you know. Man, oh, man, he throws it so confidently. He just steps in there and throws.
11 of 18, 120 yards for Koenig.
He's looked great on this drive. I mean, this is the best he's looked is on this drive when they need him.
Ashton Offament now for his career, over 3,000 all-purpose yards. He's got 31 career touchdowns.
Okay, they got 2nd and short, so you wonder if they're going to take a shot at the end zone.
From the 7. Mosley trying to get the corner. Mosley dances inside. He's in.
Hey,
touchdown,
go for 2, right?
Titans.
You're going to go for 2 here. Yeah, they're going to go for 2. It's early. You hate to go for 2 this early, but in a 16-point game, you really don't have a choice. You know, you got to try to get the 2-point conversion and see if you can make it a one-score game.
See, I was at a game, this is years ago, I was at an Oregon-UCLA game where UCLA had a big lead, and Mike Bellotti started to go for 2, and he missed a couple of 2s. And in the end, it was a 34-29 game. Oregon had the football. Had they just kicked the extra points, they would have needed a field goal.
I'm usually with you. I don't like chasing points till the 4th quarter,
right,
but you're pretty close to the 4th quarter here. And down 10 or down 9 is not that big of a difference, you know. But down 8 is a huge difference. Now you went offside, so this is not good. Whatever your play was, now I hope it works from the 8 because now you went offsides. You hate that. Boy, that happened to us at Murrieta Valley one year. We had a trick play for a 2-point conversion. We went offsides, and we didn't end up getting it, and it would have won the game.
Going for 2, ball back to the 8-yard line for the Titans. That's Mosley.
It's reverse, double reverse. He's going to throw it.
Mosley to throw.
He got it.
Field.
Oh, and it's short.
Incomplete. So they're down 10. I guess in that sense, you're correct. If they kick it, it's a 9-point game, and the 10 point,
not
much of a difference.
Right. The only difference would be if you think there's going to be a million more scores. You know, if San Jacinto goes and scores now, they can make it a 3-score game, which is bad. But then you're still. I mean,
if you're
talking about a lot more.
If you're thinking
scores.
Field goal,
right?
13 and 12, not much of an issue.
Right. That's my point. My point is 9 and 10 is not a huge difference.
Right.
8 and 10 is a huge difference.
Is a difference, correct.
So you know, you got to try it there. I'm with them there. Like I said, I don't like to chase points, and they did a good job. You know, San Jacinto got that too early, and as Notre Dame scored, they didn't try to chase the points.
Right.
They just took the easy points. But when you're 2 minutes away from the 4th quarter, I think it's time that you can start making that, you know, having that conversation. And they had a play. I mean, that was a cool little trick play. They had a play. It just wasn't as good from the 8 as it would have been from the 3.
Right.
You know, if they had that same play from the 3, they might have made it.
36-26. A lot of football to play. It's been a good one thus far. Ghazal Hassan, Vinny Fazio with you. J.R. Barra on the sideline. Our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew.
Little onside action. Nice job by San Jacinto.
Hands team Keith Hunter fields it.
Nice job. That was easy. That looked really easy. Good job.
So it'll be San Jacinto ball at the 48-yard line. Good chance taken. Michael Lara, the special teams in Notre Dame.
Well, you know, I mean, I guess what they're saying is we're not stopping them. So if we kick it deep, what does it matter if they have to go 80 or if they have to go 50? We're not stopping them. You know, so we might as well take a chance. Maybe we got a chance the ball bounces to us. But this is a big time in the game. I mean, San Jacinto goes down and gets a score here. They make it really, really hard. You know, so this is it's, as they say, now or never. It's now or never.
Good voice there, Coach.
Yeah, you know, that's not my strong suit.
Little Roy Orbison. Thomas trying to run that sweep. Sound like you're doing a Roy Orbison impression.
He doesn't look like he's running that fast, but he's running really fast. It looks like he's kind of cruising, but he's taking such long strides. He's covering so much ground. This looked like they had him. It looked like they had the edge set, and then all of a sudden he takes like 2 or 3 steps and he's around the corner. He's very good. I mean, they got 3 or 4 offensive skill guys that are extremely good.
6 yards on the play for
He's
Thomas.
a senior, right? Thomas is senior.
Yes, Thomas senior.
He's got to have a few offers, right? He's an offer guy.
I don't think Coach Galliano mentioned that he had any offers. He did have an injury earlier this year.
What on earth do you want if you don't want him?
2nd down. Holloway pulls it down. Nice block there by Davis on the blitz pickup.
He's got all time.
Dance out at the 35-yard line, pick up another 1st down.
That was a good job by Holloway on that. He got out there, he got space, he got out and got as many as he could, and then went out of bounds. As they say, it's a business decision. You get your yards, you can get out of bounds. You're the starting quarterback. You don't need to run over a guy for an extra 2 yards. Get out of bounds.
From the 35, 1st and 10, and Santa Cena just continuing to move the football. First half, they had nearly 300 yards. Davis spins out of the tackle down to the 30.
Your guy Hanlon did a great job. Hanlon's a really good player,
Very
too,
good player.
for Coach Maynard. While I'm on Coach Maynard's recruiting bandwagon, Hanlon looks like a Redlands guy too. He gets down there and spills it. He really disrupted it, but Davis just kind of spun out of there.
2nd and 6 after the 4-yard gain. Davis is a dude. He's only a sophomore. We talked about him before.
He's a dude.
Santa Cena, the future is bright for the Tigers.
Hanlon's only a junior. He's got a couple years, man. He's good.
Yeah,
he's really good.
Get another year to play for Notre Dame.
Is he? He's one of the Carnegie guys you said, huh?
He is.
He's good.
Complete to the outside at about the 25-yard line. And that's Thomas again, his 7th reception.
Yeah, he's something. He's a good route runner. He's well coached. Coach Galiendo's done a good job with Thomas. He's a good route runner. He does the little things right. For a big, tall, athletic guy. Sometimes those guys, it's a little bit of the Wild West, but it's not for him. I think they're going to go to the quarter. Nope, they're going to try to run another play here.
Thomas caught 6 passes last week for 117 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has 7 receptions this week. And Tim Marinos gets in there along with Hanlon to stop the run. Running that one is Devon Banks. Marinos, one of the transfers from Carnegie, big 6'5" defensive lineman.
He's a big dude.
Pushes it back to the 25.
He just won. He just won right off the line. He's right in the backfield. And then Hanlon is so good, man. He's the second guy there, but he's very good.
He came in as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. He came in as a linebacker, and Aaron Huerta was trying to find a place to play him, and he's just one of those kids who say, Coach, wherever you need me, I will go.
That's what he looks like. He looks like one of those kids.
Yeah, they were pretty good at linebacker, so, we need somebody maybe to play up front on the defensive line, and he was able to do it. Reminder again tomorrow, Coach Fozzie, if you have nothing to do with the family tomorrow, the Mariachi Festival, food, music available at noon to 10 p.m. at 3485 Mission Inn Avenue at the Riverside Municipal Auditorium. It's between Lime and Lemon on Mission Inn Avenue. Go check it out, sponsored in part by Live Nation and the city of Riverside. Jeff Gorham was telling us for 6 weeks he's going to be there, and then he's in Portland calling a basketball game. So,
hey, now, you got anything to do with the Feast of Lights? That's
Festival of Lights coming up too.
That's coming up. Yeah, we go every year. That's a big deal for us. That's like a family tradition for us. We go every year, go have dinner and let the little guy run around and look at the lights.
Yeah, you'll have Jeff Gorham there. You can hang out.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I got to go if Jeff Gorham's going to be there.
2nd and 11 from the 25 as we're back to action. Holloway. Here comes Hanlon. And he takes him down.
Oh, that's a fumble. That's not a good play.
Marinos racing for
it. Boy, he got lucky that went out of bounds. Whoa.
As he went down, Holloway tried to get rid of the football, and as Coach Fazio points out, they're going to rule out a fumble. The ball's going to go all the way back to the 29-yard line of Santa Cena. And Hanlon, this is the old, they teach you in flag football to box the quarterback. That's just what he did.
Hey, he did a great job. That was a great job by Hanlon. He's the playmaker there, and I hope he gets credit for a sack there. But if nothing else, it's a long loss. Holloway's lucky that ball went out of bounds. If that ball stays in play, Notre Dame's going to walk it into the end zone.
Because one of those viral videos.
Yeah, I mean, he's lucky. That ball was I mean, that's an easy touchdown, and we're talking about a whole different situation if that works out that way.
Third and very long. Throw to the outside. Man, this is Hervey. And Hervey's got a head of steam up. Anderson trying to wrestle him out. He gets some of the yardage back to the Notre Dame 45, so it'll be a 4th down.
When you get 30 and you're still 30 away from the first down, that's an interesting situation. San Jacinto will get a chance to punt it down. So that's a good play there for San Jacinto. They get it out, they get some of the yards back, and allow themselves to punt it in, maybe punt it down deep there for Notre Dame.
Tyler Mosley will return the punt. Caleb Harvey, among everything else, he's going to punt, Coach. Offers from Fresno State, UTEP, Oregon State, Washington, and Utah State.
Yeah, he's going to get some more, too. I don't think those are going to be the last ones for him. He's an interesting guy as a college player, because at first when I saw him, I thought he's a tight end, and he's so skilled that way. But, boy, he's a skilled defensive end, too. And when he's dialed in on defense and he goes hard, he's the best player on the field.
Came to San Jacinto High, Coach Galliano was telling me, he wanted to be a basketball player.
Yeah.
And had to kind of learn to be a football guy, and then had to learn with his talent to be pushed. And you understand this. Yeah. Sometimes when you have talented kids, you need to push them further, because if they're just hanging out with all the normal rank and file guys, it doesn't help them get any better.
Yeah, you got to want to be better.
Ball out of bounds to the 30, 1st and 10. Koenig throwing to the outside, nearly intercepted.
That's a great drop.
Intended for Aiden Koenig, and it's 2nd down.
I couldn't tell which one of the two strong safeties that was. It's generally either Ortega or Matos, but whichever guy that was a great drop. Got underneath. That's a strong safety dropping underneath the flat in the cover 3, and he got there, had his head on a swivel this time, and got under that one.
So 36-26 is a 10-point game. It's a big drive for the Titans, whose defense turned back San Jacinto here in the 4th quarter. Throw, Mosley in space. And 3
nice
gray shirts all there around him to envelop him at about the 30-yard line.
That's Ortega doing a nice job. He missed a big one earlier, and then he just made a big one right there. That was a big job by Ortega making that play.
Ortiz and Rocha were also there to help out. Play action gets outside. Yeah, Ortega
looked like he was going to miss, and then he gets him back on the legs at the end.
Just had a beat on him, went right after number 6. So they'll give him a gain up to the 31-yard line on the completion.
It's an interesting play here. They're going to, if they're able to get enough yards, you might want to think about going for it here on 4th down. So get half of it.
Mosley with his 5th reception. Koenig got time. Newton jumps up. He's going to fling it downfield.
Yeah, there's nobody there.
And incomplete. Just 3 gray shirts.
They tried to go to the double move again. And again, like we talked about earlier, double move's hard on 3rd and long. On 3rd and long, you almost have to do what you want to do. If you want to throw the curl or you want to throw the out, you got to almost do it. It's hard to get guys on double moves because why? They're not going to fall for it. They know you need a bunch of yards. So they try to go back to the double move, but it's just not a good situation for it.
Othman, the punter.
San Jacinto had 12 guys there.
Flag comes in.
They're going to get some yards back. They may go for it here.
So it was a 4th and 9. A 5-yard mark-off would make it a 4th and 4.
Yeah, they may go for it here. Because you got to think you got a better chance of getting 4 yards than you do of stopping San Jacinto, twice the rest of the game, right? They got a chance to get this. I think they may go for it.
So the 5th penalty against the Tigers for 25 yards. They'll move the ball to the 36. Decision time for Aaron Huerta.
We're having some kind of conversation here.
Man, and that's a tough one because you stop San Jacinto and finally get a drive, and you can't really get out of second gear on the drive.
I think this is now not a penalty. So San Jacinto only had 10 on the field. The guy that was running off wasn't the 12th guy. He was the 11th guy.
So they're going to wave it off, and we'll go back to action.
So we're back to action.
DeMonce Williams stands at the 30-yard line of San Jacinto.
That's a good sales job by Coach Galindo there, selling that, because how do you know? How do you know? If you're the referee, this is 2 minutes later, and now you know. I mean, that's a good sales job. Coach Galindo earned his money on that one.
Othman's punt, bounce out at the 38. Williams fields it at the 32, and he'll be taken down right about the 35-yard line.
Big stop there by San Jacinto's D.
So getting down the field to make the tackle, Leroy Orozco for Notre Dame. It's a big hand from Michael Lara and Aaron Huerta.
All right, now you're San Jacinto, you're in a couple of modes. You know, you want to score, but what you really want to do is try to get 2 first downs. You can just get 2 first downs. You know, 2 first downs are going to run some clock. You know, you're going to run 3-4 minutes off the clock, maybe more, and you're going to be able to punt the ball deep again and make them drive the whole field. So the biggest thing here is you want to get 2 first downs. You know, Coach Dick Bruick, I played for, 2 first downs, 2 first downs. That's what we always talked about in situations like this. You got to get 2 first downs.
From the 34-yard line, Davis the lone setback. Hervey to the far side. Throw over the middle, complete to Hervey. Hervey in full stride in the middle, carrying tacklers down inside the 35.
Man, he's good.
32-yard completion from Halloween to Hervey, and you're right. He feels it. He tastes it.
Yeah,
he can taste those semifinals.
He has turned it on. He really has turned it on in the second half. He was good in the first half. He's been the best player on the field in the second half. On both sides of the ball, really. He's very good.
So Hervey now with his 5th reception.
And they're going to run clock. This is a good job by the San Jacinto staff. Run some clock. You've scored enough to win. Now, if you score, great, but you need the clock now.
Davis headlong into Gergen, trying to get a strip, but instead go down at about the 31-yard line.
Good job there by the middle of the Notre Dame defense. Gergen and Hanlon and all those big guys doing a good job. And there's hasn't been much running room in there in the second half for San Jacinto. It's mostly been throw game and around the corner.
Davis now is the 3rd running back for San Jacinto this year. They had Martin Grace, who'd come back from last year. He was their leading rusher last year. They lost him in about week 4. Then Juan Denny, who had 830 yards and 16 touchdowns on the year, got hurt last week, unavailable. And Davis has stepped in, 18 carries unofficially, 123 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, that's your 3rd running back.
Second down, the throw down the field, incomplete, precariously close to an interception. One-on-one, Thomas and Koenig.
That's not what you want to do. I mean, it's just not what you want to do.
Well, it stops the clock, first of all.
It stops the clock. It's a chance to turn it over. I mean, again, he's young. He just needs to, you don't like this, take off running. I mean, take off running out there. Run the clock. You've got enough to win. Run the clock.
Well, now here's a big play for Notre Dame's defense, 3rd and 8. Let's see what their coordinator, Scott Lambert, can throw out there against San Jacinto. From the 32 of Notre Dame, it's 3rd and 8. Halloween, here comes Ashi Dizazo. Just a little pop-up. He'll burn the down.
They did a great job to contain a quarterback on that one. And that's the right play. If you're Halloween, just burn it, man. Get rid of it and don't take a big loss. And now they got a decision to make. This is a great job in contain and in both contain and pressure. Is that Gergen again? He's all over the place.
There's 2
He's
of them.
Just a little guy. Oh, yeah. Maybe there's 2 of them.
Well, Adam 32 and Seth 27, but they're both all over the place.
They are all over the place. Adam 32's been all over the place today. Looks like they're gonna go for it here, huh?
From the 32, it's a 4th and 8. Pressure, middle of the field, and trapped by Rowe, but it'll do the job. It'll stop San Jacinto. Ball on downs over to Notre Dame with 9 minutes to play. So still some hope for the Titans. Try to pull this one out. And
3 incomplete passes there to end that series is probably, when they go back and look at the film on Sunday, I think they'll probably say, I wish we'd have run one of those, and eaten some clock and seen if we could have got some more. If we knew we were going to go for it on 4th down.
Right.
Run the ball and see if we can make it a 4th and 5 or a 4th and 4 instead of a 4th and 8, 4th and 9. Instead of just winging it down the field 3 times, let's see if we can get some of that yards back.
That's the old John Madden, the 2 plays in the huddle, right?
Yeah, you got 2 plays.
Yeah. Well, Notre Dame has an opportunity here. 1st and 10 from the 32. They'll run the ball. They'll give it to Mosley, trying to get to the outside. Mosley inside the number, puts his shoulder down up to the 46-yard line. 15 more yards for Tyler Mosley.
I like that little formation. Notre Dame's been doing that the whole time, kind of with the double wings there on the same side, and then either run and stretch. But that time they turned out, and it was kind of an inside zone play or an inside lead play, and they folded inside. So good play design there. And boy, Coach McMahon's got a lot of stuff, man. You're still setting stuff up in the 4th quarter. You got a lot of stuff. By this time, most people have run all their stuff.
128 yards for Mosley on 12 carries. Remember, he has the 62-yard touchdown run earlier.
He's got a couple catches too, right?
5 catches, 36 yards. Koenig stepping up. It's complete to the outside.
Koenig can play, man.
Devin Hudak with a first down into San Jacinto territory, the 44-yard line.
This is some good quarterback play for a Division VII game. You're talking about two pretty good quarterbacks.
Yeah,
here,
you are, huh?
Both these guys are good.
Hudak, 3 catches, 36 yards. He's another Carnegie kid, just a sophomore. From the 44 of San Jacinto, driving are the Titans. Mosley.
He's got him.
He's got some space inside of the 32.
It's just really good play design by Coach McMains. They've got him outflanked over here. They've got those two wings, and one's turning out on the force guy, and the other guy's getting up to the linebacker, and they're reaching the defensive end. They're out here. There's nobody out here. It's good. It's really, really good design.
Cameron Rocha finished that one off for San Jacinto. And so still putting the foot on the gas, Jason McMains in the offense for Notre Dame. They trail by 10. Koenig to the outside.
He was open, he fell.
Incomplete. Offenman, the intended target on the coverage.
And Offenman hasn't been right. He hasn't been right since the second quarter. He was one of the better players on the field.
He was on the bench, and they were looking at him before they sent him back in the game. Certainly, something dinged with him.
No, he hasn't been right. I don't know what it is, but he hasn't been himself since the second quarter.
From the 32, it's a second down. 7:43 to play. The time becoming a factor.
Yeah, you can still kick a field goal here, so you're still okay. Got to continue to matriculate the ball.
Empty set. Koenig to the outside.
He missed that throw.
Incomplete. Rocha on the coverage with Aiden Koenig at about the 20-yard line.
That was a good route concept there. They had Offenman on the short drive, and he was open. And then they had the deep out over here. He took the out. It was open, but he just threw it behind him. He just missed the throw.
Rocha is the ball hawk for the San Jacinto defense. He's got 5 picks for 96 yards. Had an interception in the win against La Quinta last week.
Okay, you want to get half of this now. You don't need to get it all. You need to get half. Yeah, you don't need to get it all. You need to get half.
3rd and 10 from the 32. And Newton
still going.
Koenig gets away. He's going to load it up. He's got a man downfield. It's Offenman.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Titans.
By God, believable.
Well, we were joking about scared money never wins. How about Aiden Koenig? How'd you like to go to the casino with him?
Unbelievable.
Putting that one up there.
What an unbelievable play. Just great play by a senior, getting away, escaping, keeping his team in the game. That's 3rd and long. You're going to be in 4th, and the difference between 4th and 17, and now you're in the end zone. What a great play by that kid. God bless him. What a great play.
Offenman with his 4th reception on the evening, 2nd touchdown. And it's a 36-32
Unbelievable.
game.
Unbelievable.
And now the energy kind of back on the Notre Dame sideline a little bit. June Huang on to try the PAT.
Well, the pressure's on San Jacinto now. The pressure's firmly on San Jacinto, and just amazing. I love this little formation they're giving them right here. They're getting, 21 Green is turning out on the strong safety. We've played a lot of 3-5. I've never seen anybody try this, but it's actually a really good idea. I'm going to steal this down the road if we ever see 3-5 teams. Actually a really good idea.
And that, it's funny. We're talking with Aaron Huerta about Joseph Green, and obviously he's a physical runner, averages 4.5 yards a pop. But he was saying, what Scott caught his eye was he's so good in blitz pickup and as a blocker as well.
Yeah. So he's a good blocker and a good player, and he's the kind of guy you need. He's the kind of guy that ties your offense together.
What's interesting is, and you see that escape right there, the escapability by Koenig and then just putting it down the field. And that's just confidence as Offenman gets behind his defenders.
It's just a great play by a kid. It's just a kid making a play.
Right.
That's the fun thing about high school football, right? That's just a kid making a play. That's not, that's nothing. You don't practice that. You don't do a drill for that. That's just a kid making a play.
That's you and I in the backyard, and then somebody goes long, and then you get it, you throw it down the field. That's a backyard play.
That's why you love football. Yeah, they called him offsides. He must have stepped on the line there, huh? On the fake kick. They've been doing that the whole game, and this time they called him.
3rd penalty assessed to Notre Dame.
Kid must have stepped on the line. I've never seen anybody called for that before. Somebody must have stepped over the line.
Oh, on the bluff.
Yeah, they went offsides again.
And that's tough for Notre Dame. Michael Lara does a great job with their special teams, and they're generally drilled. They don't usually make these kinds of mistakes. So uncharacteristic for the Titans to have 2 straight penalties on a special teams play.
I don't like to criticize officials, but I don't like that call. I mean, that was on the backside. This is the guy on the San Jacinto side making that call in this situation, calling a guy on his side offsides on a kick that went to the other side. I mean, come on, man. You know, go home and tell your wife, hey, did you see that flag I threw? Come on, man. Let it go. Let him play. It's a kid's game. Cut it out. Hey, the first one I get, whatever. But come on.
Banks kind of fumbled it, gets up to the 25 with it.
Well, that and it's at the 25, so.
Yeah.
2 penalties and the ball's still at the 25.
25-yard line for San Jacinto. A big drive here, 7:21, as Coach Fazio mentioned earlier. Obviously, you want to score. More importantly here, you want to work some clock.
Well, now you got to score.
Yeah.
I mean, when you had the 2-score lead, now you're in, we can kind of run clock mode. But now, they kind of gave that up by not doing it. And now they're in a game. I mean, now you're in a game now. You're not gonna run 7 minutes off the clock. You're in a game. They got 3 timeouts. You got to score.
36-33.
You're in a ball game now. The clock's not really a factor right now.
From the 25, it's 1st and 10. Holloway's had a big game. He'll give to Davis. Davis swerves and dives over the 25 to the 27. He's over 100 yards, 19 carries, 125 yards for Kelvin Davis.
Is that Gergen on that tackle again, too, huh? He's made a million plays, man.
Adam Gergen playing the outside there.
It looks like the fatigue may be playing a factor on Davis a little bit. He doesn't look like the same guy in the fourth quarter that he was in the first and second quarter.
3-point game, under 7 minutes to play, 2nd and 9. Holloway thrown to the outside. This is Hervey. Hervey against Rowe, straight arm.
Oh, man.
And they just run him out, but he gets the first down.
That's bully ball out there. That's barbecue chicken, as Shaq would say. You throw out to the big guy and let him go to work.
Up to the 39-yard line, so a 13-yard pickup on the play. And Hervey's having himself a ball. 6 catches today.
Boom. That's a big play there. That gets him out of the hole a little bit.
1st and 10 from the 39 of San Jacinto. And you got those big targets, Coach. Like a security blanket for a quarterback. Throw to the near side. This is DeMonte Williams. He's the speed guy. Bumps into his own man and will be tackled at the 40-yard line. Devin Hudak in on defense makes the play.
That's okay. You're okay on that play. If you're San Jacinto, that's just like an outside run play. It's a safe play. The clock continues to run. So you're okay. Take a chance. Get the ball in your speed guy's hands. Good play by Notre Dame to come off and beat the blocks and get involved.
Clock moving towards 6 minutes.
Gergen again in the mix of that.
2nd and 9 from the 40.
Jailbreak got outside.
Holloway escapes the pressure.
It doesn't end up being a disaster, and he goes out of bounds, so it's not too bad. But, when you're going to run the full-on blitz, that was an all-out blitz there by Notre Dame. Whoever's the edge guy's got to make sure the quarterback doesn't get outside, especially to his right hand. Because he still could have thrown that, and it's a disaster if he gets out there, because now you're in that cover 0 with no help, and you got him out there on the perimeter. So you can't let him outrun you and get to the perimeter there.
To the 41,
This is a big
8.
play. He didn't get much. Looked like he was going to get more.
Looks like man coverage everywhere for Notre Dame. Here's Holloway. More pressure. Down the field. Incomplete.
There's a good play design. That was Davis out of the backfield on a little wheel route because they knew they had man coverage, trying to get him on one of the linebackers. It's a good play design, but that's the problem with scheming those plays to your running backs is sometimes they're just not your best guys catching the ball. So, the ball's in the air, and it's not your best guy to make a play. And they're going to punt. Notre Dame's got a chance here. I mean, we're talking about a 3-point game. This is a good play design.
Aiden Koenig on the coverage running with him. Ashi DeZazo gets the pressure on. Holloway still throws it pretty smoothly, but you're right. Just Koenig right with him step for step.
They covered it pretty good. Yeah, they did a good job. They switched it and covered it pretty good.
Hervey with the kick. Mosley fielding it.
Uh-oh.
Mosley outside into San Jacinto territory. Sweeps past the would-be tackler up to the 30-yard line.
Well, Mosley's dynamite, huh? He really is. He kind of is a hidden guy, but boy, he's dynamite. He's the glue, man. And here you are. You're at the 30-yard line.
45-yard punt return.
He's just smooth. Look how smooth he is, everything's smooth. That's how you know you're watching a really, really good player. Everything's smooth and easy for Mosley.
Jason McMains puts him everywhere.
Yeah. He does a good job with him. But he's a good player. He's good to have guys like him. Here's their little formation now. This has been good for him the whole game. This little formation to run stretch and lead. They're going to run stretch here. They're out there. There's no one out there.
Mosley's got space.
He's in the end zone.
Mosley to the house. Touchdown, Titans, back in the lead.
Boy, that escalated quickly, didn't it?
Wow.
I mean, this has really turned because this game this looked like a game that San Jacinto was going to put away. And that wasn't that long. That was like 3 minutes ago of game time. And all of a sudden, Notre Dame's ahead. Chance to go up by 4.
19 points make it 20 unanswered for the Titans. They're now up by 4.
It has really turned fast, man. Credit Coach McMains. He has come up with a great plan. That little double wing formation has really been good for him, and they found ways to get the ball on the perimeter, and San Jacinto just has not made the adjustment to it. They haven't found a way to get the linebackers to slide over and treat those guys like they're extra linemen, and they're just letting them outflank them. And then Mosley's a really good player, and if he gets out in the open field, he can score touchdowns.
20 unanswered points for the Titans over the last about 8.5 minutes. And Mosley with 2 of those touchdowns, and one, that long pass, Rodney Koenig really making a big play, getting the ball to Ashton Othman to give his team the lead.
Yeah. Boy, this has happened fast. I mean, really, this has happened fast. Now, San Jacinto, you're okay. You got a good quarterback. You got good receivers. You're okay.
Huang booms it. Here's Williams from the 4.
Be nice to get a good kick return.
Williams squirts free.
Got a really good one.
And up to the 35-yard line. Tackle for Notre Dame, Bobby Benavides. He's a freshman who's seen some time in the secondary, makes the tackle at the 34. Decent field position for Halloween and the San Jacinto offense.
A little bit of a save tackle there by Benavides, because if he steps through that, there's nobody else there. It looked like he was really through, and then Benavides kind of got his legs and tripped him up. But if he gets through that, there was nobody else. And here we go.
Freshman called up to varsity for the playoffs. Look at June Huang firing up the crowd, the place kicker, senior leader for Notre Dame.
Both teams have their timeouts now.
3 timeouts for both teams, a 40-36 Notre Dame lead. 3 receivers to the far side. To the near side is Wayne Thomas. Halloween locked in on Thomas. Now he'll throw the ball down the field and nearly picked. That was Othman out in coverage against Hervey, incomplete.
Thought Halloween was too quick to go away from Thomas there. I think work Thomas. You got man coverage. Thomas is your best guy. Work Thomas. Him against any of the Notre Dame secondary is an advantage for him. So let Thomas work. If they're going to play man cover and not give him any help, then you got to let Thomas work.
So Williams up top in the far slot. That's Banks.
Now they got some help for him over here on Thomas now, so now you can work the top side. But if they're going to leave Thomas one-on-one, it's got to be Thomas.
2nd and 10. Here's the throw, and they listen to you, Coach. Thomas gets away from the tackle, still on his feet. Thomas out at the 32-yard line. Jaden Rowe kind of shoves him out.
Right.
A huge 32-yard gain.
Right. I mean, if they're going to man him, you just have to make him pay. You can't let him man him. He's the best player. You can't let him man him. If they're going to man him, you got to throw him the ball.
Thomas now 8
Force
catches,
him out of that.
133 yards on the game.
See, you got the cover 0 now against him. I'd give it to him again. I'd throw it up top. I'd go up top to him. If they're going to play this cover 0 on him, I mean,
Koenig matched up with Thomas on the near side.
Well, this is a good call too. This is good. That was good. They gashed him with the little zone play.
Davis inside the 30. Down to about the 27, so 6 yards on first round for Kelvin Davis. 133 yards for Davis. Not bad day at the office.
Yeah, for a kid that hasn't played much running back.
Had 6 carries last week for 21 yards. I mentioned Juan Denny, unavailable today. The second starting running back to fall out this year for San Jacinto. But it's playoff football, folks. Next man up Second and
0
4
again.
Halloween. Gergen escapes from him.
Oh, no.
Escapes again. Halloween still going down at the 30-yard line. Max Anderson finally cleans that up with help from Seth Gergen.
That was a pretty impressive 2-yard loss.
Looked like he was dead to rights, Coach. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, it looked like you had him. You had pressure. Then you had Gergen on him. He spun out. Gergen gets back up, comes over and tries to get involved again.
Big play here, 3rd and 6. I mean, you're probably running 2 plays here, right, Coach?
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. I mean, you're 4 down, so it looks like you're going to call timeout.
Both teams have 3 timeouts. We're under 4 minutes to play
call one here.
It's been a wild one. 20 unanswered points for Notre Dame. Looked like San Jacinto had put the game away with 2 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter.
Now, here's about the timeout here. You almost want to preserve that timeout, unless you're calling it now. He may have a play he wants to set up and he wants to talk about it. They may have something that, hey, here's what we're going to do. We got a special one for this time. Let's set it up.
Okay.
And that might be what he's doing. But if you're just going to run your offense here, you need to preserve that timeout. I mean, you need that. If you don't get this, Notre Dame's going to get the ball and you're going to have to get a stop. You need those timeouts. So you hate to use that timeout unless it's to say, okay, hey, guys, we're running homecoming. Our special play, we called it homecoming. Hey, guys, come on over. Hey, we're going to run homecoming. Guys, remember it? Everybody knows what you're doing? Good, let's go. I mean, if that's what they're doing, then you use it.
3 close games this year for San Jacinto. They were 12-7 winners at Marietta Mesa in Week 3. They had a 22-16 squeaker against Beaumont in Week 6. And then Week 9, they lost 21-13 to Citrus Hill. 3rd and 6 from the 30 for the Tigers.
Okay, they got the cover 0 look again. Thomas is up top with Hervey, so you're going to work that top side.
Halloween looking that direction. Here comes Ashi DeZazo to blow it up, but Halloween finds some space, throwing it to Thomas. Did he come up with it?
I think there's a flag.
Incomplete. A flag did come in.
It's from the side judge. It's going to be defensive holding, I think.
Aiden Koenig was on the coverage.
Yeah, I think you're going to get defensive holding. I think they grabbed Thomas.
Holding on the defense is the call. Just the 5th penalty on Notre Dame.
It's a tough ask to ask a guy to cover him man coverage that long if you're going to let the quarterback scramble. If you're going to bring it and put your guys in cover 0, you got to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Otherwise, you almost have no choice but to reach out and grab him.
From the 20, it'll be 1st and 10. So Hervey and Thomas both up top. Hervey kind of in a tight slot. Davis.
Just nothing in there right now.
Forging ahead, runs into Jacob Mercado, and Cameron Ashley comes over as well. Maybe a yard on the play.
And not a lot in there in the middle in the second half. It's been slow going inside run. Now they haven't run as much of their perimeter stuff. I'd like to see maybe trying to get him on the perimeter a little bit. But you're seeing a lot of cover 0 out of Notre Dame now, man.
Hervey, the intended receiver, incomplete.
Well, they tried to go to play action, but play action, when you're seeing cover 0 like this, play action doesn't help you.
Right.
Because it's just man cover. The guy's just going to cover him. So he's not looking in the backfield. Play action's more made for the zone coverage stuff where you can maybe get a guy lost, but he's just looking right at the receiver now.
What I liked about that is they had Hervey lined up as the tight end. He kind of started blocking, and then he rolled out. That was a pretty good design. 3rd and 9. Fade route, whistles blow, and I don't see a flag.
No, he tried to double. It was, Thomas tried to do too much there. He tried to kind of move and move and move. He just needed to run. And Holloway put it up, and now it's 4th down.
So here's a 4th down play. Notre Dame with the lead from the 19-yard line of the Titans and timeout on the field.
Oh, you use your 2nd timeout. Now you're down to 1 timeout. It makes it hard. I mean, now you're what you're saying is this timeout, you're going to get the 1st down. I mean, this timeout's going to help you get the 1st down. Because if you don't get it now, you've really put yourself in a bad position.
Notre Dame's defense over the last 5 games of the year allowed 36 points per game, but
they're right on it.
Yeah, they were able to win 4 of those 5 games. The lone loss to Paloma Valley. Then obviously last week against Citrus Valley, probably played their best game of the year. holding Citrus Valley, who averaged well over 30 points a game, to just 14 points.
The thing about Citrus Valley was I think they're pretty good up front, but they were not dynamic athletically, in the way that San Jacinto is dynamic athletically.
Yes.
So I think that was probably the difference there. Citrus Valley, while I think they're obviously super well coached by Kurt Bruick, and they got guys up front, I don't think they're very athletic yet. I think Kurt's still
they're
working
young.
on that
all
process.
Their athletes are young. All their athletes are young. They got a lot of sophomores and juniors there.
Well, here we
like
go.
San Jacinto does. Here we go. This could
What
be
do
the
you
ball
got?
game.
Yeah.
4th down and 9 from the 19 of Notre Dame for San Jacinto. The Titans have roared to life here. 20 unanswered points. Holloway dancing, rolling outside, directing traffic. Holloway now trying to move to the first down.
He got it.
First down, diving to the pylon. Is he in? Touchdown. Touchdown, San Jacinto. And talk about your big-time players making big-time plays. Tell me what happened,
I'm
Vinny
going
Fazio.
insane, man. This is just a great individual play. Scrambles. They lose contain. You can't lose contain on the quarterback. But then they got him. They kind of got him held up. He makes a move and just finds it, man. It's just being an athlete. If Notre Dame made a mistake there, it's losing that initial contain on the quarterback. They blocked the kick.
PAT blocked.
Field goal wins it now. Boy, this game has everything, man. I'm glad you asked me to come to this one.
It's been a wild and wacky one here.
This is wild. This is one of those games. These kids are going to talk about this game for the rest of their life. These kids and these coaches and everybody in this game. I remember old games from Fohai.
Right.
You're going to talk about this for the rest of your life.
So, who got it? Was that Hamlin who got it?
No, I think it's the big guy. It's 15.
Oh, Othman.
Off the edge.
Ashton Othman just doing everything. He crossed 3,000 career all-purpose yards tonight. The senior has really stepped up. Had to be taken out of the game with an injury earlier and wasn't happy on the sideline, but makes the big play blocking the PAT. And 42-40 lead for San Jacinto.
That's too good a field position.
Squib kick fielded by Notre Dame, and they'll get the ball at the 38. So now Rodney Koenig has an opportunity to lead his team down the field. Reminds me of that. I mean, you're probably you're going to tell me how old you were. I think in '85, Doug Flutie and Bernie Kosar played a game like this, Boston College and Miami, and Flutie won it on a Hail Mary to Jerry Phelan late. Your dad, ask your dad about that one. He'll tell you about that one.
I've seen the clip.
Yeah.
Here we go, man. I mean, this is everything you wanted. You got a senior quarterback. You have a chance to go win it.
4th quarter from the 40. They'll give it to Mosley. Mosley pushed out of bounds at the 5-yard line. That's Kelvin Davis who shoved him out.
Yeah, you're all hands on deck for San Jacinto. You got Thomas up there playing corner on the top side too. So you got Hervey, you got Thomas, you got Davis. You're all hands on deck on defense, man. We got to get a stop.
So it's like Walker Bueller and Clayton Kershaw out of the bullpen.
Absolutely right.
Hingenrue is heating. 2nd and 5 from the 45. 5-yard run by Mosley. They'll give to Mosley again. They'll try the other side.
Got him on that one.
And he'll get stopped, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Davis got his head in there, along with Ortega.
Did a good job. They made an adjustment, finally, to that double wing formation, that 2 wings on the same side, and the linebackers all moved over. They all stepped over. They treated it like it was extra linemen, and they had an extra guy there they couldn't block. Now you got 3rd and 5. It's 2-down territory. It doesn't, do whatever you want. You got 2 downs to get 5 yards.
Othman to the top of the formation. To the bottom of the screen is Devin Hudak. Empty set. Koenig on 3rd down over the middle. It's complete to Othman. The senior willing his team into San Jacinto territory at the 38-yard line. 17-yard completion to Othman.
Man, Koenig is good, man. He sure is good. And now you're under 2 minutes. You want to get yourself in a position where it's a makeable field goal.
Koenig 15 of 25 for 180 yards tonight. Just picking up where he left off. Last 2 games, he had 10 touchdown passes and nearly 570 yards. Toss. And Mosley loses the football, and it looks like San Jacinto recovered it.
Hervey made the play.
Caleb Hervey makes the play. Flag comes in. So there'll be some taunting penalties marched off, but I believe when all is said and done, it'll be San Jacinto football.
All right, now, if you're Notre Dame, you still got 3 timeouts. You know, this is just Hervey. Hervey off the edge, got into it. They tried to run toss, and he just beat his guy. And you just can't put the ball on the ground there. You know, I know the play didn't go good. It wasn't what you wanted, but you can't put it on the ground.
What a big play by Hervey for San Jacinto. Man, he's been, Offerman made a big play for Notre Dame, and then Hervey comes right back and makes a big play for San Jacinto.
Well, it's been that kind of game, hasn't it? It's really been that kind of game. Here's the second angle. You see Hervey got nice and wide, and he just came off the edge. They couldn't handle him. I mean, he became the edge guy. But you have to find a way to not fumble the ball. I mean, it's okay. The play didn't go well. If you're Mosley, it didn't do what you wanted to do, but you have to keep the ball in your hands and go down with the ball.
So the ball all the way back to the 17, so they marked off 2 15-yarders. And
well, you still got 3 timeouts if you're Notre Dame, so you're going to have to get a stop. You still got 3 timeouts.
So 42-40 with 93 seconds to play. Winner to the semifinals of Division 7.
Young running back, sophomore quarterback, so try to rip the ball out.
Davis stumbling up through the first tackle down at the 23.
There's your first timeout. That's more yards than you want to give them. You don't want to give them 6 yards, obviously. You got to try to stun this. It's run. Get everybody up there. You can't let it run for 6 yards. It's just power. And actually, Gergen had a chance at him. Had him in the backfield and just didn't get him. They're going to have to make that play.
First timeout taken by Aaron Huerta and the Titans.
If you get a stop, if you're Notre Dame, you still got a chance. I mean, it's a 2-point game. If you get a stop, you're going to get the ball back with, over a minute to go. Probably in reasonably decent field position. They've returned punts decent today. So, if you can stop them, you're still in the game. You're not out of the game yet. The penalty was really those 2 penalties were really a big difference.
From the 23, a 2nd and 4.
Yeah, this is all, it's all right here. You got to get up in the game and go if you're Notre Dame.
Give to Davis again to the outside. Anderson with the hit.
It's going to be 3rd and 1.
So Davis with a few more.
So this is it. If he gets first down, we go home. And if he doesn't, then Notre Dame's going to have a chance to win it. You got to get everybody up in the game.
Notre Dame takes a timeout.
If they throw play action, then they throw play action. You're lucky.
Other Riverside teams, Coach, Norte Vista leading Brea Olinda 14-10 in the 3rd quarter at Alvord District Stadium, Zacharias Stadium, and looks like Hillcrest's run will come to an end. They trail Bonita 45-20 in the 3rd quarter of their ball game.
Yeah, Bonita's loaded.
They're really good.
Bonita's loaded. Their quarterback is maybe the best quarterback in the area. He's very, very good. He kind of flew under the radar for a couple years, but he's very good. Yeah, I knew that was a hard draw for Hillcrest.
So here it is, 1:21.
Oh, you got the big boy in.
Jumbo backfield, 1 yard.
Got to get one.
The big fella, Sheldon Newton, in as a fullback. And Holloway will take it himself and get the first down.
Game's over. That'll do it. They'll be in victory formation. Good job. Good play by San Jacinto. Kind of something new. Had something new for the big 3rd down play. Able to get the 1 yard, and that'll do it. They're gonna be down. They're in down the ball mode now. Heck of a game, huh?
Heartbreaker to lose for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still got 75 seconds left, so we won't concede quite yet. Just had Election Day on Tuesday. Coach.
I think we're in down it mode now, man. I think we're in concede. I think we can concede. They really shouldn't be running plays. They should just be downing the ball.
1st and 10 from the 28.
They're going to run a play. Got a chance to get the ball out.
Turn and give, and
now
Davis goes down over the 31-yard line.
That's their last time out. You got two downs, and I think we're
now you just kneel down, right?
Yeah, should be. I think you got 2 kneel downs, and we're the heck out of here. Great game, heck of a game, really. you know, you had the chance down there, and San Jacinto, Hervey forces the fumble. And I thought in some ways that was fitting. You know, I thought Hervey was
the playmaker.
The playmaker.
Wayne Thomas and Caleb Hervey really stepped up their play.
Yeah.
And you know, on the Notre Dame side.
He had Mosley. Mosley was fabulous. Mosley was fabulous.
Rodney Koenig obviously played well for Notre Dame, as well as Ashton Offerman. The seniors, they'll be their last game. It's always a tough one.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think you might have said it.
No,
you know, if you're a basketball player, you can go play pickup.
Yeah.
If football's that sport, you'll never be able to
dead.
do that again.
It's athletic death, man.
Yeah.
I mean, once you're done, you're done. I'd do anything. I'd do anything for one practice, to go play one more practice, you know. They're going to run it again. Let him run. Holloway's got something.
Get shoved out of bounds.
You don't want to go out of bounds.
By Offerman.
You don't want to get hurt.
At the 40-yard line.
But he did get the first down. Yeah, the Tigers are going to win it.
So Eric Galliano takes San Jacinto to the semifinals of the CIF playoffs for the first time since 2007. They actually reached the final in both 2006 and 2007.
Well, I was there in 2005. We went to the semis and lost to Grace Brethren.
And then
2006
they lost to
Big Bear.
Yep,
on the road.
They lost to Citrus Hill.
Citrus Hill, yep, 3 in a row. Here's their down. This is their down at formation.
Now they'll kneel with 1:02 to play.
That'll do it. This was a heck of a game, man. This was a heck of a game. You know, can I just say something? I thought the teams were good sports for the most part. Thomas, I saw guys shaking hands and helping each other up, and I thought this was a well-played, you know, game between two teams that were good sports.
Two pretty good teams. You know, they're both ranked all year for the most part in those polls. San Jacinto end of the year number 3, Notre Dame end of the year number 7. So you knew these were both a couple of pretty good teams. Kneel down, and that should be. I don't think they need to snap the ball again.
That's a heck of a game, man.
Tough one for the Titans to lose. They roared back, and then
a
late turnover sealed the game for San Jacinto. But as you said, Caleb Hervey just made a play.
I think he did. I mean, I don't think that was. I think Hervey just made a play. He made one more play. He made one more play. You know, when there was a play to be made, he was the guy that made it, and Holloway made one too. You know, on the fourth, that's 4th and 9. I mean, that's a 4th down situation where Holloway scores a touchdown. So there's a lot of plays where you can look at. But the truth is, if Koenig doesn't make that Houdini play, it's not a game. I mean, you know, so to even make it a game, it took that Houdini play by Koenig. So heck of a game. I mean, just a fantastic high school game.
Seniors on both teams stepped up. Notre Dame denied the chance to go to the CIF semis for the 3rd time in 4 years by San Jacinto. And you got to feel good for Eric Galliano. He's now 37-9 in his coaching career.
Unbelievable, huh?
And we talked about it. He's got 7 losses. 4 are to Citrus Hill, and 3 are in the playoffs. He's only lost 2 games outside. They were both last year, as a matter of fact. They lost to Murrieta Mesa and Arlington last year as part of their 7-4 season, where they were knocked out in the first round.
Well, I think they've got a pretty good chance. You know, I think they're playing the winner of Valencia or Grand Terrace.
And last look, I think Grand Terrace was up.
And I think they got a pretty good chance. I mean, I think they match up pretty good in those games either way. So, you know, they got a chance to play in the finals again.
They win their 6th straight against Notre Dame. The teams hadn't played since 2009. They'd been in the same league together.
Valencia knocked off Grand Terrace 17-16.
So it will be Valencia. Notre Dame, or excuse me, Valencia and San Jacinto next week. Congratulations to Eric Galliano and his Tigers. They advance. Congratulations also. A great first year for Aaron Huerta. I know you're
I agree.
Jason McMains.
I agree.
They did a lot of good things tonight.
I agree. And you know, that's a hard way to go out. You know, when you felt like you had chances, and now the problem when you lose a game like this is now forever you got to think about, hey, what about this call? What about this play? You know, when you get your butt kicked, you can just kind of go, well, we got our butt kicked.
Right.
But when you lose like this, now there'll be some guys that don't sleep well tonight. You know, and that's a bummer because they played really well. It was a great game. It was 2 really good teams.
Remember your last high school game, Coach?
Yeah, we got our butt kicked.
Okay.
We played Los Alamitos in the second round of the playoffs. We went to Los Alamitos, and they kicked our butt. So I didn't have a lot. I didn't stay up very late that night. I slept fine. They were the better team.
The old John Barnes team.
Yep, Coach Barnes. They were the better team. Kicked our butt.
Final score tonight, 42-40, awaiting a post-game interview with Eric Galliano. We got J.R. Ibarra down on the field waiting for coach. He's got to kind of rally his team together. Final numbers, Rodney Koenig unofficially 15 to 25, threw for 180 yards, a couple of touchdowns, both to Ashton Othman. Tyler Mosley ran 17 times for 180 yards. He had a couple touchdowns as well.
He's brilliant.
On the Santa Cena side, unofficially, I have Kajaya Holloway, 20 of 35, 318 yards. He had 6 completions to Caleb Hervey, 8 to Wayne Thomas, and he ran for 2 big touchdowns, including the game winner for San Jacinto. Kelvin Davis, how about this first day as a full-time running back? 23 carries, 140 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I thought he wore down a little bit as the game went on, and that's part of the reason. I mean, he hasn't played a lot of both ways stuff, and I thought he wore down. I thought he was brilliant in the first half and then wore down as the game went on, and Notre Dame toughened up a little bit too, so that was part of the factor.
So San Jacinto goes to 11-1 overall. They will play next week against Valencia in the semifinals. Notre Dame ends the season 9-3 overall. They won last week against Citrus Valley, could not quite get past San Jacinto, but a good, successful first year for head coach Aaron Horton.
I think no doubt about it. I think it's and they got a lot of guys back, and they had a chance to win this game. And the truth is, I think whoever would have won this game would have been a favorite, is going to be a favorite next week, against Valencia to go to the finals. So they had they're 1 or 2 plays away from being in the finals this year. So they it's a great year. It's a tough way to lose. It's always tough to go out that way. But I thought they played really well and gave themselves a chance.
As disappointing as it is for Notre Dame, they had a great season this year, and they left it all out there tonight. I think we have Eric Galliano standing by with J.R. Ibarra. Okay, we don't have it yet. But, and you've been there. It's so disappointing because it's 42-40, and you'll play this game over in your mind back and forth. But I don't think that takes away from all the good that happened for the Notre Dame season.
No. I do think that's the hard part of going out like this, is that now you have to wake up and sit up and think about it tonight, and well, if we just would have did this, or what if we'd have done this, or what if I'd have called this? And the truth is, games just are games. Kids make plays. Holloway made a play. Hervey made a play. Koenig made a play. These are players' games.
Yeah.
We as coaches like to give ourselves a lot of credit and a lot of blame, but the truth is, these are players' games. Those kids made plays.
42-40. It was a thriller here at Wheelock Stadium at RCC, and obviously with Hillcrest losing tonight, we'll throw it down to J.R. Ibarra.
Coach, I know you've made a priority of getting some turnovers, and that really got the game for you.
Yeah, we started flying around and doing what we've been doing all year. Came out with a different game plan at the beginning. They exploited it a little bit, and so we went back to what we've been doing all year and just flying around and playing what we play on defense.
Offensively, you guys really stepped it up in the second half as well.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. Number one, he made a big play at the end. The wideouts played big, making key catches, running the football. We were able to eat some of the clock and do some of the things that we've been trying to do that we've had a hard time the past 2 weeks of doing, and we were able to do that tonight.
Have you been through a tighter game like this, or is this like one of the most tightest games you've ever experienced?
It was the tightest with the score so high. This year we were 12-7 against Mason when the same thing happened at the very end, where he takes it in to win the game. And that's him being a great football player.
So spend a little time celebrating, and now you start prepping for the semifinal.
Absolutely. We'll enjoy this one, tonight, and we're gonna be on the film tomorrow morning, starting to prepare. Back to the semifinals. It's been a while since San Jacinto's been there. I was extremely proud of the kids and everybody that's bought into the program, what we're doing.
All right, congrats, Coach.
Awesome, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Good job. Well, for Notre Dame, I'm sure Coach Huerta can't hang his head. This is his first year, and getting it to the quarterfinals is something that he can certainly be proud of. A really good football game here tonight at Riverside Community College. Guys, we'll send it back up to you to wrap it up for tonight.
Well, Coach Fascio, thanks for joining us tonight. You have any final thoughts on this?
Boy, thanks for having me. This was awesome. I mean, what a great game. It's just fun to watch kids make plays and play football and have fun and run around and make plays and get excited. Isn't that fun? I mean, this is what it's about. This is why we do this, and I'm so proud of those kids and the kids that made the plays, and you feel bad for the ones that didn't have it go their way at the end, but the truth is, these Notre Dame guys will talk about this game. They'll come back to their reunion and go, hey, remember that play you made when you spun out of there there and threw it deep, and I was down there and caught it. I mean, this is the kind of game you talk about for the rest of your life. So you're sad you didn't win it, but a heck of a run by those guys.
Got a nice list for Coach Maynard as well tonight. But
yeah, I know. I wrote a couple names down, so I'll take them, send them to my dad. I'll email them to my dad tonight.
42-40 the final, a thrilling win for San Jacinto over Notre Dame. The Titans just fall a little bit short. So for Vinny Fazio, for J.R. Ibarra, and our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew, Ghazal Hassan here from Wheelock Stadium. Final score tonight, San Jacinto 42, Notre Dame 40. The Tigers advance to the Division VII semifinals. So long, everybody.